Outside of Phoenix is miles of desert with a racing oasis in the middle of it all. For decades, Phoenix Raceway has been a dusty retreat for oval racing, and it marks a western visit for the Area Cup Series tonight. 150 laps, 150 miles with baking hot temperatures. Can drivers keep it cool in the Valley of the Sun? Welcome back, everybody. Week 3 of the Area Cup Series after a trip to Daytona early on and a trip last week out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the first round in our Western Tour. This week we head to Phoenix. Finian DeCuna, Hunter Slappy, and Eric Wineland on board. Finian, welcome back, this time to the 1 mile oval in Phoenix.
Yeah, I was going to say we go from one desert to the other, but for tonight, compared to Vegas very cool, surprisingly. We were all really surprised at that. Nice cool temperatures for these drivers to deal with. However, tonight, not so much. 130 degrees on the track at the moment. It's going to be hot, slick out there. We'll see if any tempers get a little bit hot there. He's got another full field of drivers ready to get going.
Another full field of drivers ready to send it into turn 1, 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide, and you can go across that dogleg that's now the front stretch after the reconfiguration about 5 years ago. But Eric, as a former winner of this track, I gotta say I'm pretty excited about this. I'm not the former winner. You are the former winner. You won back in season 1. Although different car, I feel like tonight will be a good night for racing.
Oh, it's an entirely different race, Hunter. We caught a yellow that made it a fuel mileage race, and that's how I got. It's pretty smart in season 1 to get a couple fuel mileage wins. But this track, it is July 4th in the sim, Kyle. It is baking hot, as you said. It's a 132 track temp right now. I'm looking forward to these guys sliding around this entire night.
Yeah, 132-degree track temp is hot. It's going to be slick out there. This is one of those racetracks that you can find multiple grooves to work in, high side, low side, down on the apron, all sorts of places. There's a look at that dog leg that you mentioned, Finian. That is a big deal on the restarts because you can dive down there. No penalty for going down there, but there could be a penalty if you come back up into turn 1 at the wrong opportunity at the wrong time.
Oh, absolutely. And you're going to be seeing guys test the waters all night long, especially if we get a couple restarts in hand. Guys are going to be playing around, seeing how much they can get away with it. And not to mention, too, you can still run on the bottom in turns 1 and 2 now as well. So that's going to be a big thing to see how many guys are going to push the limits here. To see qualifying underway, Cameron Hearn on the racetrack coming out of turn 4 and across the line.
Yeah, not sure how many guys are going to be running the outside lane like we saw yesterday for the Cup Series finale, but it's mostly going to be on that bottom, maybe middle-ish groove as Hearn slides in turn 2.
And he'll pull back into pit lane. So only 1 lap here at Phoenix. This is a mile long. Per the area rulebook, a track's mile or longer. Only 1 lap of queue as Tyler Nichols goes second on the board currently.
Yeah, P2 for Tyler Nichols, and qualifying here tonight with a full field. I think we're going to have some go-or-go-homers, Finian. This is going to be a challenging night to qualify in with. There's a bit more skill involved in the qualifying here, even more so than we saw at Las Vegas. This track, more off-throttle time, where you run the car, the racing line is a lot more sensitive here for your overall lap time. So with this many cars here, we're going to have a full field tonight. It's just a matter of making sure you start near the front because passing can get challenging on a green flag run here.
Yeah, one of the first qualifying sessions where I think it's definitely going to come down to skill as far as, how much these guys are going to take, running through the dog leg, keeping it down, keeping it up, runs out of the corners. Because Vegas was fairly simple. You can be mostly flat out through there. It's mostly just controlling your entry and exits. But here, a lot more at play here. See Michael Curran, of course, with the sign. What did I say? I changed my pre-race playlist to Creed. It worked for Texas Rangers. Why not me too?
Yeah, it worked for them. They went on to win the World Series. As a Phillies fan, that's to say pretty good that they won and not the Arizona Diamondbacks. Me and Ed Robertson can agree. Michael Curran, 4th quickest on the board, but Eric Wineland was looking at 10-lap averages, and Curran was the fastest amongst those that did 10 laps or more on a stint. So that's something to keep an eye on for later tonight.
Yeah, he was knotted at the top with Travis Beckner, and they both were 1-2 in both 10, 15, and 20 lap averages in practice. We get to see Justin Bondurant in what potentially is a home race for him. He's Club West here in iRacing, but that leaves the area pretty wide open. Guys, maybe a home track. He at least is used to the heat.
Definitely used to the heat. That'll help. And it probably, West Coast, there's not that many racetracks as far as NASCAR is concerned. So I think you'd claim this as your own, even if you were from California. I think, which has their own club Do they not? So they maybe he's not that. Alan Elwood on track, getting set up for his qualifying effort. Slow takers here early in the going. Finney, I wonder if that's because we're in the afternoon here. Maybe they're waiting to see if they can catch a cloud to bring the track temp down a degree or two. I don't know how much that'll assist, but it's certainly not great to have it 130 plus. That's one of the hottest temps I think I've ever seen in iRacing. Maybe sans a race at Indianapolis one time.
I seen one race at Charlotte was 150 degrees. Nothing will top that in my mind, but 130 is definitely getting close there. As Alan Elwood comes flying through the number 49, working through 3 and 4, just keeping it nice and tidy right on that yellow line coming off. And across the line for Elwood is going to be a decent time.
6th.
So, decent time indeed, up to 6 for him. And at the looks of it at the moment, we are going to be sending one driver home tonight.
I had 45 cars in the session.
Looks like Ryan Swan joining. I believe he's an admin.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
He is. You're absolutely right. So we're sending one car home. And unfortunately, I think that's Alan's teammate, AJ Roderick, is currently the slowest that have taken time of the Go or Go Homers. Spencer Burns, the only driver slower than him, but Spencer is chartered and locked into the race. As we see David Weishart take his time here.
I just had a moment. I had to redo my graphics config here in iRacing the other day, and I would go, where are the grandstands? So this change to me is still new enough that I was remembering that they had finally moved everything down to the turns 3 and 4 area. This has been like this for a couple years, but I still have trouble with corner names and the numbers switching as Kwame Scott goes for a slide, and he'll...
That's lap done.
And he scraped the wall before he came across the stripe, so it will not count. Is he one of those open drivers, Eric?
No, Kwame is locked into this show.
That's good. Whew, good.
He is a charter driver, but that lap will not count, as you said, because he tags the wall right there, and then it's loose as he tries to get onto the transition across the dog leg, and that just makes it even worse when they're going to cut the dog leg. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, Finian.
Oh, I was going to say, it was going to be a really quick lap, too. You should have been up to 3rd, though 2nd place just taken by Jake Matheson in the 56. Looking at Justin Asogek up in the wall for him.
Blake Hopp in the 23 across the stripe. That's only going to be 19th quick.
But key thing is that he will be in the show beating AJ Roderick, because Blake Hoppy did miss Daytona, made it for Vegas, and looks like he will make it here for Phoenix as you look at now the 73. Jake Nichols, see where he qualified. Typically, we see the 73 up near the top of the last week at Vegas. Not the best qualifying effort for the 73, was in mid-pack for most of the day.
And the last time we were here, which was back in Season 2, Jake Nichols was the race winner, and he started from the 14th start position, so the winner can really come from anywhere in the field, because Eric started 15th in Season 1, and that is mentioned 1 on fuel mileage, and Jake Nichols did the same thing from row 7, so it'll be interesting where the 73 ends up in qualifying.
So, gentlemen, there's an interesting development here. AJ Roderick's in because there is an open driver who is checkered flag for the session and does not have a time posted on the board. James Shanewolf in the 75.
Wow.
I don't know if we detailed his qualifying lap or not.
Nope.
As Jake Nichols sets a time here.
3rd quick.
But James Shanewolf is checkered flag to the session, which means he has exhausted his qualifying lap and must have received an X for the time to not count. He will be going home currently, pending Blaze McKinney, who is just now taking to the racetrack as well as we watch James Scioli.
He comes across the stripe. That will land him 4th. Nice solid effort there. Cedric Hunter is on a lap, so is Jacob Bell, but this is the driver that could knock James Shanewolf out entirely here in that number 87 as he heads off into turn 3, coming to the green flag to start his qualifying effort here, Finian.
Yeah, he was running up high. I was just taking a look at what happened to James Shanewolf. He tried to run low across the line, got loose on that transition from the banking to the apron, and spun across the line to start his lap. So he's definitely not going to be able to put a lap into McKinney. Not a whole lot of pressure, although I'm sure that this 87, he wants to be near the top, and he's performed extremely well in his first 2 outings here in the Area Cup Series. Curious to see what he can do here at Phoenix now at the shorter 1 mile length track. He keeps it nice and tidy, looking pretty quick at the moment. Can he execute, though, coming out of turn 4?
Looks like he'll keep it clean. And the qualifying lap for the 87, the Indiana native, 19th quickest on the board.
27.943 for the 15th highest I rating in this session. Can you believe that? He's 5,063 oval I rating. And he's the 15th best in iRating. Matthew Bell currently boasting the biggest iRating number here in the Area Cup Series for this event here at Phoenix.
What do we got?
7156.
Holy cow.
Oh my! Wow.
This
In my dreams.
SOF, this SOF for tonight, including the drivers that are not unfortunately going to be racing, James Shanwolf, 4220. I guess that also includes Ryan Swan's iRating mixed in here, who is an admin and not actually racing, but quite the iRating, quite the strength of field.
I don't even know that would affect it all that much because there's so many drivers in here that one iRating, unless it's a wild outlier.
Yeah, that's
actually a
Top
function.
16 or over 5,000.
That's actually one of the systems of the SOF calculation. Is it doesn't take into effect. Well, it does take outliers into effect, but it doesn't weigh them as strongly. So that's a high SOF. Here's a look at your qualifying results. We didn't get a coverage of it, but it's Seth Knoll and 8 Chevrolets. The front 4 rows locked out by the bow ties for the start of this one, Finian.
Yeah, the Camrys and the Mustangs, a few of them in here not performing as well. Dom DeLeo really breaking up the monotony of the bow ties up near the front. Going to be starting in 9th place in that 22.
And the name that really stands out to me is Alan Elwood. We don't really see Elwood run too many Cup Series races. Actually, you have to go all the way back to season 1 at Atlanta. That was the last time Elwood made a start in the Cup Series.
He was my team owner in season 1 when I won a couple Cup Series races here in area. So good to see Alan back. I don't know that I would have picked Phoenix as my top track for that, especially considering the track temperature for this session. But nonetheless, we will get to see what Alan Elwood can do. Kyle, higher?
Yeah, dropped a little bit between qualifying and the race, 128. So might take your egg a couple more seconds to cook, but it's still hot out there as we get
We
set.
double check that humidity number.
Yeah, I got to fix that, but it's very detailed if you want to bring it out.
31%.
Multiply that by 10, basically. That number there.
Yeah, well, actually,
3 million.
Move
100
that,
is what you want.
excuse me, 100. Yeah, move that decimal over twice. So 30.7% humidity here, and the winds are actually fairly calm.
4.6, that'll put a breeze through your bald spot here. So,
Don't have to worry about that as much as we were at Daytona a couple weeks ago when we had 56 trying to make the Xfinity Series race, or the Florida State Builders Pro Series.
Still think this cactus is the coolest thing in NASCAR. Always love this. Think it's rad. More tracks should do this. Before we get racing tonight, though, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. And race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. All right, guys, before we get going, it's a big grid. It's going to take us a while to get through. Let's pick some favorites here. Eric, let's start with you. Who do you have winning this race tonight? Seth Knowles on pole. He's looking pretty good, though.
Lucky 13th place on the grid. Michael Curhan, we will ride on board with him as well tonight. I'm expecting that 24. He looked good in practice, and maybe he will finally put the broadcaster standings on his sign. But nonetheless, the area hat's going to go forward to the front tonight. Michael Curhan is my winner.
Hunter Sleppy.
I'm going to go with the 56 of Jake Matheson. I think he gets it done in race number 3 of the season.
Jake Matheson will start third. Finian, who's your pick to win this thing?
Yeah, I want to pick the number 32, Vincent Cortez. He was a bit of a sleeper hit last week at Vegas. He ran really well inside the top 5. Couldn't quite finish off the deal, but he's starting up very strongly in second place. Going to keep an eye on that 32.
And Eric, question for you. Is Vincent Cortez, that name rings a bell. Is he also a past Coca-Cola Series competitor?
That is beyond my knowledge. I think the gentleman we need to go to for that one is Jake Nichols. You know what? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm curious. I feel like I've seen that name before. My pick to win this race, I think, I'm gonna go with Yusuf Ghali. I know it might be a bit of a wild pick here, but I have seen his short track ability. This track drives a bit more like a short track than it does like a speedway, even with these next gen cars. I think the 54 gets it done tonight from 8th place. He is my pick to win. We got to get rolling through the starting lineup here, though. Let's kick things off with the front row. It's going to be Seth Knoll, the number 1, and Vincent Cortez in that number 32, Finian.
Moving on back to row number 2, it's going to be Jake Matheson starting in the 56 car. Next to him, James Kiley in the 7 car in 4th.
And row 3, Connor O'Kresick in the number 14. Jake Nichols starts 6th in the number 73.
Moving on back in 7th, it's going to be Matthew Bell, the number 9 in 7th place. Next to him, Yusuf Ghali in 54 and 8th.
And Dom DeLeo and Ryan Hartz roll off 9th and 10th. And Connor Horn, Travis Beckner, Michael Curhan, David Weishart, 13th and 14th, Finian.
Moving on back, it's going to be Ray Slate 15th, Alan Elwood 16th, Tyler Nichols in 17th, Douglas Newbigin 18th with Nathan Jump 19th, and Greg Mitchell running at top 20.
And Eric, to get an update for us on Vincent Cortez?
You're thinking of Corey Vincent. Vincent
close
Cortez
enough.
has not made the Cup Series. You're thinking of Corey Vincent.
I knew I had something, but I didn't have it quite right. Thanks for that, Eric. As we get set to go racing here tonight, 150 laps. Pace car already pulls off because we're going to get the green out of turn 4 here in just a moment's time. Let's roll through the rest of the starting grid. Justin Bondurant down the order quite a bit. Mason Kane back there a ways as well. Casey Lakatos rolls off 36th. Ricky Springer's back there. Kwame Scott will start 40th. There's your starting lineup, and here comes the field at the Oasis in Phoenix in Avondale, Arizona. Time to go racing. Green flag flies, and we're racing in the Area Cup Series, round 3 from Phoenix. It's busy out there. Lap 1 complete. Noel leads. Look at the 54. Ghali down to the inside looking for about 6th place. Spin. Crash behind him. The 33. Weishart. And more.
Oh, there's more. Doug Newbigin involved. Ed Robertson. Kane almost got into that. Ben Pierce. Jacob Bell. Holy cow, Finian. Massive one heading into turn 1.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. There was actually an incident on the opening lap as well heading through the dog leg, but I've been seeing guys really loose there all throughout practice as well, and I think looking at the replay, it's exactly what happened to the 33 wide. Just to watch here, turns doesn't hit the dog leg, but just on the exit gets loose, around he goes, and ping-pongs off another car and collects everyone else.
That was very weird. It just snapped. It just turned on him. Watch this again. As he turns, he kind of hits the groove here right there, and it just turns around. Just no grip at all, and not much anyone else could do to miss this. They were just caught up in it. The 71 took a hard hit there right at the end.
Yeah, I think he just put just a little bit too much steering input that he really needed to. I think, again, cold tires, hot track is also playing a factor, and unfortunately for him, he went around. You see a couple other cars involved. Oh, someone in there flying in the end.
Yeah, that one was tough. So early incident, that will bring us under yellow, Finian.
And there was actually even an incident on the opening lap involving Mason King, Garrett Grant, and the 09 of Bryce Sinizak, just as they came across the line through the dog leg. Kane tapped the wall, and it sent Garrett Grant spinning.
I would say on the opening camera shot, we saw there was a car that nicked the wall at the very back of the field, but they kept it straight, but not for too much longer, Kyle.
Yeah, so some trouble early. That's going to set us back a little bit with some drivers that we would expect to be right up at the front. Eric Wineland on pit lane, what you got?
Radio from David Weishart Racing, guys.
Yep, I'm done. I mean, that's a joke. I hit the yellow line. I didn't even hit the apron. The yellow line, and it spun me out.
These cars are busted.
I'm not. That's stupid.
I'll follow up with, I did some practice with some of the guys before the session kicked off tonight, and I had the exact same thing happen to me on my second lap of trying to practice this car at this track. So not surprised to see that catch a driver out, because it caught me out. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but I didn't expect it. He didn't even get down. He didn't even get decambered on the flat banking of the dog leg compared to the rest of the dog leg. He literally just touched the line. And it's like the rear of the car set down, bottomed out, whatever may have happened, and he spun.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it was kind of in the compression there, so I guess I could see it bottoming out, but you would hear that, and you could make some setup changes to compensate if it was actually dragging the ground. Maybe as tire pressures come up, that would assist with that, but it looked like, Finian, you're watching a wet road race, and someone gets on the curbing on the paint when it's slick. I mean, it just turned around. You're not loading up the tire with longitudinal acceleration there either. That was very bizarre, and I hope that that's not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, hopefully not. I think, again, these guys might have to wait for these tires to get a little bit more temperature and therefore a little bit more grip in them before they try to, push them a little bit too far. I think it might help for these guys. They need to try to take the corner as straight as possible the first few rotations, but we'll see. We'll see what we have in store here.
Field comes out of turn 4. Let's try this again. Lap number 6 of 150. Seth Knoll leads the way. Green flag back underway. And that time a nice clean getaway. Oh, spin that into turn 1 this time, and it's going to go back up the racetrack. More collected.
Oh,
that's the 21 of Delonte Ballard and the 2 of Greg Mitchell. And again, crash going into turn 1.
Yeah, and we started with the 2 going around, had a little bit of help. You can see in the background Jordan Martin, a little bit of a tap to the 2, enough to send him around, and then he comes flying back up into the racetrack and a hard hit to Delonte Ballard.
Man, tough break for these guys on the opening laps. This time they can't even get to turn 1.
Now, we've already documented this field is, not rookies at this, so this just goes to show you how challenging this is. See the 63. Alex Cummings try to stay out of it, but just not anywhere to go. And Ballard here completely unable to do much about it. Don't have any tire temp yet. Sees the 2 go down the inside. You're already committed to the corner. You got cars on the left and the right, and just a bad angle there to the outside wall. Saving grace is that with the new damage model, you should be able to repair this, but how long will it take and how badly is the car damage is the bigger question.
Yeah, it's going to be the big questions. A couple more cars come on the pit lane, mainly just drivers just getting damage repair after that little tussle down into turn 1.
So a correction from earlier. I said that Jake Nichols won this race back in the 14th spot for Season 2. I was wrong. He was on pole. So if you're the one of Seth Knoll, his teammate, you're sitting pretty good, because I just went back and looked at it, because already this race has given me PTSD. When we ran in Season 2, we had 18 cautions for 72 laps. Yeah, so the first 2 yellows early on give me a little bit of PTSD, but I'm sure these guys will figure it out and get some good green flag runs in.
Yeah, so some issues early, and JT Poole filling us in from his experience practicing here this week. The apron is dangerous tonight. If you go half and half, it's wrecking loose. Now, that makes sense to me a little bit. I think that would get better as the run goes on, again, as you build tire pressure. But these cars are pretty low to the ground. They also have underbody aero, as opposed to the previous car that didn't really generate any downforce at all from the floor. Now you've got all these tunnels and whiz-bangs and diffusers and things that as soon as you unseat that aero from its seal to the racetrack, you're going to lose downforce. I just wouldn't expect it to change the balance of the car so violently. So maybe there's some more at play, the suspension's bottoming out or something, or the tire's just not quite right. Eric Wineland on pit lane.
So I think it's more so the low ride height of the car and it just how it bounces across. But radio from Greg Mitchell in Physicus Motorsports.
Unbelievable.
Are you wrecked?
Did you get pumped?
Yeah. Hey.
Just drove right into me. He doesn't even know what the brakes are.
So Greg was not happy at all with Jordan Martin. And then Delonte Ballard and Solar Flare Racing were talking what happened as well.
Oh my God, every time I hit the apron to come up on the track, it just yanks.
You guys pitting for damage, don't take a tire set yet. Just save it.
So that last bit, Jake was trying to make sure his guys get track position, get a little further forward, though Delonte Ballard has a lot of damage to fix. So yeah, the car, it's doing something weird when it transitions across the dog leg. So these guys need to get a little smarter, maybe not utilize that as much, or maybe get out of the gas as they go down there, which obviously doesn't help for momentum purposes or lap time. So interesting to see how these guys attack it the rest of the race.
Yeah, very interesting. A new dynamic to play with here this week. Initially, I thought that apron was a real fun dynamic, but as we saw in the Truck Series race on Friday, things can go south pretty quickly, and obviously these cars are not having a very good time with the transition there. So we're going to re-rack him, restack him, and go again. 10 laps will be complete on the restart.
Yeah, position.
I also wanted to double down on Hunter Sleppy's point about Season 2 and how many cautions we had here. There's a reason that this series did not return to Phoenix for such a long time, and we were hoping the narrative would maybe be different. Might not be.
I also wonder if the independent rear suspension might have a factor in this as well. Just thinking about the stick axle you know, your tires are doing all the bending, but as soon as you have those independent suspensions doing different things, it could upset the car quite a bit. Green flag, lap 11 at Phoenix. Here we go. Oh, spin, crash in the background.
Oh boy.
And yellow's back
out again.
Yep.
Jacob Bell.
See what happened to the 77.
Up, and guess what happened?
Same thing. Same exact thing as what happened. That is so weird. And the
my
2. Was that the
goodness.
2? Yeah, it was the 2 again. That is so weird. I've never seen anything like that. At least not with these cars. I felt cars do things like that, but what a weird problem.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just I guess for these drivers, they might just have to avoid that particular part of the corner.
So,
easier said than done.
Is this setup specific, or is this something that they could tune out? Or I mean, that seems so strange.
I would assume it's setup specific because I know it's somewhat similar to real life, but even in real life, the Cup car didn't do this yesterday. I would have to assume it's a setup, but we'll hear from Eric in a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, very, very strange. So lap 12 out of 150 tonight. 3 yellows in the first 12 laps as we've struggled to get some momentum going here. I think as the tire pressure comes up, that might assist in grounding these things out a bit more. Eric, what you got?
Hard to build tire pressure when you don't get hot laps to do so, Kyle.
Right.
Jacob Bell, pretty blunt about what happened.
I spun out in the middle of the trial.
Yeah.
So he's obviously laughing at himself. There are remarkably quite a few drivers, or maybe not surprisingly, a lot of drivers upset. One quote I heard on the radio, did not get a recording of it. 40 minutes of practice for what? So if the temperatures are just going to rise like the track temperature has been, actually, no, the track temperature is currently falling.
Can I read you my quote from my intro, Eric?
Let's do
drivers
it.
keep it cool in the Valley of the Sun. It's cooking their brains already. We're only on lap 13.
I think we got a correlation here. The track temperature's falling and the driver's attitude temperature's rising. So
I'm no
we'll
scientist.
see how the
but
rest of this race plays out.
causation and correlation all in one. Use the scientific method.
Oh, there we go.
Derive a theory. And what's the scientific method?
I only learned the Pythagorean theorem, but that's not even science.
The what now? You put an L in there somewhere? The Pythagorean?
Yeah, the Pythagorean theorem.
You said the Pythagorean theorem.
I thought I heard an L in there that I didn't hear.
That's the L that all these drivers are taking because they keep
man.
wrecking.
Oh, all right.
boy.
It's lap 14, Eric.
Oh.
You mean
Man,
18?
oh, man.
Well.
Huh?
Didn't you say that? Didn't I not hear the stat as 18 cautions here, season 2?
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that last
back
week.
in season 2.
Yep.
I'm not sure where the 14 was coming from. My bad. I thought we were talking the stat.
It's. I mentioned in the intro that this track drives more like a short track than it does like a speedway, and we've seen that historically, Finian, as far as the yellows align more with a short track. But fundamentally, this track isn't challenging in the sense that it's narrow and super fast. Like there's plenty of road. It's just it's like having an open in the fridge with a ton of food you don't want to eat. There's a ton of racetrack, but not a lot of usable racetrack.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can pave, a racetrack 10 lanes wide, but only a couple will be useful depending on the banking, the way the corner is made. So, and I mean, you're seeing the same thing here. Of course, for the opening lap through the dog leg, everyone's just gonna fan out and go. But when you get to the turns, only a couple lanes are viable, and everyone's gonna be fanning for those few lanes. Greg Mitchell is just trying to recover. I'm sure he's annoyed. Not only did he get caught up in 1 wreck, but 2 wrecks so far, and we're only on lap 15.
Well, we don't really have a penalty for the yellow line rule at Phoenix, but with what we've seen early on in the first 3 cautions, I think we're going to see some drivers tempting on that yellow line, maybe giving about a foot up if they're going to run the outside part of the dog leg.
Yeah, that might be the solution is don't do half and half. Either commit or stay far, far away. And I think some drivers might just opt to just take the left every single lap and deal with that uncertainty versus the one that is almost sure spin. Here we go, lap 16. Let's try it again. Seth Knoll back underway from Phoenix. And you see the 32 and the 56 dive for the apron, as does everybody else.
looks to be a clean getaway for everyone in behind through turns 1 and 2. Seth Knoll leading them down. Jake Matheson getting clear of the 32 of Vincent Cortez as James Scully tries to see if he can get to the inside of Nichols for 4th, but can't get it done.
Down in turn 3, Yusuf Ghali looking low underneath the 14 of Okresic. There's Matthew Bell running up near the outside wall. They're going to make it through this lap. Will they make it through the next, Kyle?
Tommy Scott in the middle of all that, 39th to 19th with a green flag lap and a half. Making his way forward.
Yeah, trying to make up for lost time, trying to see if he can get that car early, because I think he feels like there's going to be a lot of short runs, so he wants to make up as much ground as possible here on these restarts. And slow but surely going to make his way up through. He's side by side with the 11 and Justin Bondurant.
Very good start here for the 99 of Kwame Sky and the green flag laps that we've had. Pretty remarkable. That's
Bondurant spinning.
Low. Yeah, he was blinking. He was blinking and having connection issues, so that's probably why.
Yusuf Ghali's also dropped out. Am I seeing that wrong?
He left the session, not sure why.
Yeah, the 11 just sliding, and then the 54 was running 7th. Was alongside Connor Horn here. Did he just takes the left?
Oh, he was spinning.
And he just did with the same thing as Bondurant did, just maybe afraid of causing a yellow, so he bailed out. That was my pick to win. I'm sad he gave up that soon, but doing the best in the interest of keeping the race green.
Whoa, spin on the back straightaway.
No!
8.
Keeping it green.
Slate and more.
Oh, no, they're wrecking behind!
71 at
Douglas Newbigging.
And that'll bring out the yellow. What is going on? Man.
It's like,
a full moon
remember, well, I was going to say, remember when Danica Patrick spilled oil all over Phoenix?
They still haven't cleaned it up all these years later.
It's baked in.
So the 8 was the first car to go around. That was Rafe Slade. And I think it was probably just in reaction to his spin. He's gonna bounce off Curhan there, bam, into the inside wall. Now the Newbigging in the background. The group checks up ahead and he bails out of the throttle and just gets run over from behind. Watch this group ahead of them. The spin is already happening. They're probably expecting a yellow, so they're jumping up, but it's still green. 71 jumps out of the gas. Did he actually even get hit?
He got hit by Blake Hoppin behind in the 23, who I don't think was really able to see much of anything because he's riding right in behind the 71 and...
Yeah, the 71 juked to the left. I don't know if that happened at the same time as the contact. It wasn't as obvious of a hit.
Well, yeah, the contact definitely didn't help. I think he was already going, and then the contact kind of added more insult to injury there.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, one thing that I don't think we've touched up on yet, this is the first time we've had a race in season 5 with the daylight savings time where we gained an hour of sleep. So maybe that's throwing some people off. We haven't brought that theory in yet.
Well, it's definitely throwing me off. Eric Wineland, another trouble, this time on the backstretch. What happened?
So Rafe Slate just claimed on the radio he bobbled, and that bobble carried him out into Michael Curhan, and then obviously Blaze McKinney with nowhere to go, not enough time to get out of the throttle, tapped his rear bumper, and around went Rafe Slate. So we also saw the 54 Alt F4 and reconnect. I'm not sure how race control is going to call this one, if they may still rule cause of incident even though there wasn't a yellow. Alt F4 has been frowned upon in the area series before, so we'll see what they do about that.
Yeah.
But I have a radio piece for you. You guys are gonna love this. I was listening to Solid Rock Performance when Rafe spun. Rafe didn't have anything today, but Connor Okresic absolutely did.
Not safe for Stimward.
That's all I could take out of what he was saying. The sentiment among the drivers is a lot of disappointment and a lot of frustration.
Yeah, I don't blame him for the frustration. Because this will be solved with more laps, but it's hard to get laps under your belt when everyone is packed together on restarts. The cars handle at their worst. Now they're just heat cycling tires out. This isn't going to be helpful. What they need is 10, 15 laps of green, and then I think the tire pressures will come up. Everyone will kind of get into their groove. The cars will spread out. That will assist them in getting some green flag laps under their belt. But what's not helping their mindset is the repeated yellow flags, which means that they're going to be in that frustration mode each time we go to the restart. Lights are off again, and Seth Knoll clicking away laps led. Hasn't really done much of anything other than nail those starts, Finian, but those are laps led that count.
I was going to say, that's all you really need to do. But one thing we were talking about the starts, or restart, I should say. Kwame Scott, he's up to 13th.
Yeah, well, I pulled him out, mentioned that before, but he just continues to climb up the order. That qualifying lap did him no favors.
Really didn't, but he's doing a fantastic job in just these couple, really handful of green flag laps we had. He is already up inside the top 50, and I think by the end of this restart, easily be inside the top 10, so we'd have to keep an eye on this 99.
4 drivers that are plus 20 or more since the start of the race. Cameron Hearn in the 4, the 06 is Spencer Burns, Ricky Springer in the 51, and Kwame Scott in that 99.
Ricky getting set for the restart here. Field works their way out of turn 4, and let's try it one more time. Seth Knoll in the 1. Back to green flag again here at Phoenix.
Another great jump from Jake Matson, trying to get a run on him in behind. Meanwhile, it's Jake Nichols in the 32. Vincent Cortez racing it off into turn 1.
3 wide, even 4 wide towards the back, but Matheson trying to get a little run on that outside, just like the 73 of Nichols does. He'll get around Cortez for the time being, as Connor Horn looks to pass for 4th in turn 3.
Very tight as they come out of 4. Horn on the outside. One car's way up the track in 4. That was, I think, the 81 of... No, it wasn't the 81.
Spencer Burns.
Thank you. Spencer Burns in the 06. Car on the
whoa,
wall.
hard hit! Hard hit! Oh, my goodness.
Alan Elwood,
I think.
keeps it straight. We were not going to go under yellow for that, but big damage on the number 49. Here's what happened to him just now. And that was just a hook right.
Yeah, it's some contact. Edward Shearer and behind him. Oh,
wow.
Big hit there. Cortez and Horn side by side. Connor still trying the long way around. I think that line will prevail. You just have to kind of keep hammering away until you steal it. And he's got it.
And we'll get one more spot. And Horn's done a solid job moving his way up. The order started in 11th. He's up 7 spots now. So he's been slowly chipping it away towards the leaders with these few runs we've had as you look further on back. There's Kwame Scott already inside the top 10.
Well, I was going to say, looking closer towards the front is the 99 of Kwame Scott up to 9th as they're side by side in the back. Looks like Ricky Springer and Jeremy Miller could be battling for position, but nonetheless, still an impressive rise from the 99 of Kwame Scott as they roll through pit road where our own Eric Weiland sits.
You guys, radio from Lucky Duck Motorsports and Edward Shearer Jr., who was the one that punted Alan Elwood.
Oh my god, I didn't die.
My whole screen froze as we went in the line.
My cheeks have never puckered so hard. Holy crap.
Which ones?
I don't know who I hit.
Yes.
So the other driver commenting there was Cedric Hunter in the 13 with the cheeks puckering, but yeah, Edwards said his screen entirely froze as he went off into turn 1. He couldn't see anything and nailed the back of Alan Elwood, and just an unfortunate victim of circumstance.
You know, I was going to mention, as you mentioned that, Eric, that I actually, upon redoing my graphics config, like I mentioned in the pre-race, had been having some bigger screen freezes while driving, and I normally don't have that. So I would normally say, maybe, but I think he might have actually experienced that, at least with my personal experience as of late. So that's a possible excuse. Here's Cameron Hearn, who's up a whole bunch of spots, 24 since the drop of the green flag, chasing Curhan and Miller. This is for 14th.
Yeah, we're really starting to see a lot of drivers that messed up their qualifying time, starting way down the order. They're now making some headwind, making their way up through the order as he's trying to decide if he wants to go 3 wide here. He's just going to have to settle, work to the outside, trying to race around Jeremy Miller. It's a battle for 15th place.
Going in the same line as his teammate there for Fazekas Motorsports, Michael Curran, who's currently inside the top 15, running 14th as finally established some green flag laps in, and guys starting to get better at handling of their car.
I think we knew it was going to happen. Just give them a couple laps to get some temperature in the tires, get some reps and some laps in, and we're going to be bound to have some green flag running. Here's a look at the 51 of Ricky Springer all over the back of the 22. Oh. He's going to turn him sideways.
Oh, he gets a bump from Blaze McKinney behind. He's going to stack everyone out at turn 4 as we go 5, almost 4 or 5 wide across the stripe.
Well, I almost jinxed it right there. Spencer Burns in the 06. Making it close going into turn 1. Tight 3 wide battle. Curran now finds himself on the bottom with teammate Hearn in the middle.
That's tight stuff out of turn 2. Down the back straightaway. Hearn is not where you want to be. Curran will let him get sorted back out. Let's go back and have another look at that incident between the 51 and the 22. He just kind of jacked him up down there into 3, Finian.
Yeah, it looked like he just tried to have a bit of a look. The door kind of closed, thought he could maybe get up near the bumper, gave him a bit of a tap, and then he got a bit of a tap from Blaze McKinney trying to avoid it, and everyone just fanning out, trying not to get involved.
Yeah, remarkably, it didn't bring out a caution, and drivers can continue to resume, but some at a further disadvantage than others. So there we see on the outside Matthew Bell trying to make that climb back inside the top 15, and there's the 51 of Springer, still side by side with Blaze McKinney for 12th on the track.
Yeah, he's making up ground. I'll tell you that, he wasn't waiting around for the 22 either. He's moved up now to the inside of the 87. Gave him that shot when they all had to check up after the initial contact. And down the back straightaway into turn 3. The closest battle's on the track at the moment. Look at the run Springer gets out of turn 4.
Yeah, fantastic run. Just a matter of where he's going to go with it. As he's looking just to the right-hand side of McKinney heading off in turn 1. Now looking to the inside, you can see him trying to get a little bit of more clean air to work with. That's going to be a big thing for these drivers through such a flat corner. Just trying to find some sort of clean air to your spoiler to give you some sort, a little bit more grip through the corners as they're still battling further back in the distance.
Indeed, we look at the 09 of Sinisak, and beneath him is the 11 of Justin Bondurant, and then Rafe Slayton and Jordan Martin doing battle behind him. This is outside the top 20, but positions still to be had for some that are trying to make their way towards the top 20.
Watch the 38 of Jordan Martin. He transitioned back up onto the racetrack. He's going to take to the apron here, and watch as he comes back up right there. Big wiggle, and then right. No, I thought it was look worse from the front. But it's slippery out there.
Cameron Hearn around out of turn 4 off the nose of the 06. Caution will fly again.
Oh, gets slammed. The 5 of Grant right into him as the caution flies. That was a hit. Oh, man.
Poor Garrett in the 5 has just too much throttle on the front stretch coming out of the turn, and that might be the end of the night for him.
Oh. Wow, that was a major impact. Oh, there was contact here. Go back a little further.
So looking at Cameron Hearn, throws it into turn 3 here. You're going to see his car there. He gets a little bit loose, walks up the hill, and then gets up into Spencer Burns.
Just listen to this. Oh. Almost had it. That would have been fine. He would have walked away with no damage, but Grant just could not do anything. And this is what it looked like on board with him. Sees the spin, kind of blocked his vision there, and then just, what do you do?
Saw the smoke and probably thought they were going to go low.
Yeah.
Just picked the wrong line. Oh man, that is a heck of an impact.
Well, that car is definitely going to need to go down to pit lane, and so has everybody else on the racetrack for the first set of stops we've seen all race.
Tires going on the cars, and at this stage you're getting close enough to that 1/3 mark where you're willing to put on it and use up a set now. And the winner of the pit lane battle should be Seth Knoll. Yeah, just over Jake Matheson. Then it's Nichols, Horn, Cortez behind him. And a couple drivers that did stay out. I wonder if they're going to try to just grab a lap lead and then head down pit lane. That's hard to do here.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to do here. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I got to see what Jake Matheson, he's going to be annoyed because he had a 0.7 second faster pit stop than Seth Knoll, but Knoll purely got the lead just because he has that first pit stall.
That was a topic.
I have to assume that these guys already pitted. Slate, Mitchell, I think Josiana Sogak too. Some of these guys were involved in incidents earlier on, so maybe they're just trying to hope that it's a caution fest when they're up front.
Yeah, that first pit stall was a discussion in the championship finale race just yesterday as well. That first pit stop is very powerful. Eric Wineland.
Quite a bit of radio here for you. First from Ricky Springer. I'm assuming you guys caught the incident with he and Dom DeLeo.
Yep.
So this is Ricky's take on what happened.
He just pushed me into him, and then after I let off, he just slammed me into him again. There's nothing I could do.
So Ricky's actually upset with the 87. He thinks that Blaze McKinney helped push him into Dom DeLeo there. I'm not sure on the initial contact if there was anything that did that, but definitely after Ricky got Dom loose from the bump, did Blaze kind of shove himself in there again. So I'm not totally seeing Ricky's point there, but nonetheless, that's how he feels about the incident. Cameron Hearn, on his incident, is not as much upset with himself. He is upset with himself because he claims it's hard to pass, but this is heavily censored audio. Listen in.
Kills me. Got loose and pinched me in the corner and spun myself, so Garrett just comes in like a bull, kills me. So
that was heavily cut to not play too many explicitives on our broadcast. So Cameron is highly upset. He says it's impossible to pass. That's what led him to driving just a little too hard, trying a little too hard, spinning himself out. And then Garrett is the bull in the china shop that plowed his way right through into the wreck, and we're about to see someone plow through turn 1 with a flat front bumper. Rafe Slate is your leader, Kyle.
Yeah, a lot to talk about of those incidents. Yeah, the 51, of course, didn't seem to get help on the initial contact, but maybe did get a little bit beyond that. And the 4, I get that frustration. I'm not sure that Grant could have done a whole lot more, maybe just plan a little bit better after seeing the smoke, but we'll see if anybody can recover from those. Green flag. Rafe Slate did not wait around. He's gone. Back underway here as everybody dives for that apron through the dog leg.
Oh boy, this guy's got to readjust. Contact with James Scully. Big crash off into turn 1. Jake Nichols involved.
Wreck. They're still sliding. Greg Mitchell's sliding.
Seth
hard
Knoll.
hit.
The leader.
My goodness.
Or who was the leader?
It's the big one at Phoenix.
The leaders.
Wow.
That took out a lot of heavy hitters, like Seth Knoll, the 73, and Jake Nichols involved as well. Many, many drivers involved in this one.
If there were any drivers that weren't yet complaining, they might be now. What drama here at Phoenix tonight. This has just been a wild one. Where did it even start? I think the 42 was in the middle of a bunch of cars. He got squeezed. I think he's where we will start once I can figure out where he ended up. Third, somehow.
Yeah, he somehow drove his way through the cluster. He was definitely in the middle of this.
We're watching this in slow motion because there's too much happening to keep up with it in full speed. So watch the 42. The Scioli car goes down to the dog leg, gets into the 42. He's squeezed. There's so much happening. We got to go to quarter speed to figure this out.
Yeah, he gets squeezed with the 87. That's kind of staying in the middle of the track because they're basically 4 wide at this point, heading off into turn 1.
So the 2's already crashing on his own. The 73 and 1 get together. The 73 then gets hit by the 67, who wasn't involved in any of this except for maybe the one with the 42. The 1 then crashes with the 2 again. The 9. I mean, this is just everybody everywhere. Wow. And then the 1 head on into the outside.
Kwame Scott just barely avoided that. What a move from him in the 99.
I bet he had a great view of a lot of this. Everybody but him.
Ooh, and then right ahead of him again. Turn down. Woo-hoo.
I bet you Eric Wineland is getting all the radio right now from this. Jake Nichols 33rd, and that was a pretty big driver's side impact there. Vincent Cortez as well. The 41.
There's his brother
spins.
Tyler spinning.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is half the field down here, all in the front 15 as well.
Here comes the one in your living room.
Oh. Yeah, that's some breaking the fourth wall, quite literally.
Yeah, 3D glasses.
Yeah. You know, honestly, that'd be pretty cool, and I think we should try that sometime. But
have fun rendering that.
Well, I mean, it's no different than VR. Eric Wineland, I bet you were busy under that lap and a half or so. Wow.
You know what? I didn't even pull audio because that was such a chaotic wreck. There were like 3 different incidents that happened. I will tell you from listening, I can't mix this all together because there's quite a bit of choice words being said over the radios. James Scioli did not necessarily know right away that he was 4 wide.
I got that. I don't think anybody knew they were 4 wide.
The unknown is whether Justin Anasogak in the 67 missed a shift or was in the wrong gear for the restart, because that's where it all started on the restart. The 67 stacked up, and that forced Matheson below and then Horn below him. And it was on from there because they ended up 4 wide on the entry to turn 1. And we'll get it on our Sim Wrap Market replay here.
I was trying to see if I'm before or after that yellow. Hold on. Trying to track it all down.
So Anna Sogak was last on pit road this yellow, so it'd be before he just cycled through on pit road.
Here we go. All right, so let's...
So back in the restart zone, Justin does not go. The race slate takes off. Justin's already a car length back, more than he probably should be. And then just...
Oh, yeah.
I think he's in the wrong gear.
Well,
from the way it looks, he just doesn't go. He doesn't accelerate the way he should. And because a missed shift would stack the field up more.
Yeah, he looks like he missed a shift. That's why you see the 56 dive to his inside. So he's good here. Then I think the shift to third is right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite get into it as quickly.
I was going to say, the initial launch, the 8 is gone. I mean, he was sleeping for sure, but he's not accelerating at a different rate than the 1 on the outside. Right there, then he seems like he's slow. That sends everybody 4 wide. I don't think the 7 knew that he was going to come back up with a 67 mid-track, though. So to his point, yeah, but...
James was not aware of the 4 wide, and it kind of set off from there. It looks like race control ruled it a racing incident. And we'll maybe see some green flag action here, Kyle, as race slate's ready in the restart zone.
Oh, yeah, we're coming back to the restart here.
Sure we are. Here we go. Green flag, race slate. Controls the field. Tommy Scott goes way down to the inside wall. So does Connor Horn. So does the 28 of Beckner. Haven't talked about him yet today. Started this race in 12th. He's just been kind of quietly flying under the radar.
Yeah, Beckner working his way up through the order, especially through all the chaos and the smoke, and trying to make a pass now to get inside the top 5, working to the inside of James Scully.
Oh boy, these guys are running in the 3rd and 4th, maybe even 5th lane over there in turns 3 and 4. So they're starting to fan out and starting to see some guys try to fight for position, fight for the bottom, the middle, and even some rip it up on the outside wall. There's Kyle Shackelford, and now we move back up to the 8 of Slate, trying to hold ground in 4th.
Yeah, I thought the 51 and 64 were going to kill each other down there into turn 3 last time. They didn't do it. But Matheson leads, Connor Horn to 2nd. Scioli and Slate banging fenders. Here comes the 30 of Miller. Blaze McKinney
in behind.
Look out.
Ryan Hart spinning to the inside.
That might be...
Caution.
Nope, caution.
And I think he was it. Actually surprised it flew that late.
And note from race control, we are going to single file restarts.
I knew that was coming sooner or later, but I don't know that that was directly caused by the restart, but Bree just he's going to get hit there by the 0-6 as they were all kind of backwards. I'm actually surprised the yellow flew as late as it did because he had it all but woke up by the time it flew. Did a nice job missing the fence here, though, huh?
Oh yeah, he got a bit of the rear end to it, but I mean, all things considered, that should be an easy repair. So, much better job at saving it than probably most people would.
The question in chat was, will the single file fix anything? I don't know, but I don't think it'll hurt.
No, I was going to say, it definitely won't hurt. I think the idea is just to, by the time everyone, gets spread out, there's still going to be probably some side-to-side action, but just to kind of space it out, get more of a chance of running green flag laps, because going 4 wide into turn 1 is not helping.
Well, I can tell you this, we've gone a third of the race distance now, and half of that has basically been yellow flag. How many yells are we on? 7.
This is the 7th one.
So we are on track, Finian, we are on track to tie SimTV caution record.
Isn't it? I know we keep forgetting. Oh, I keep forgetting this number.
24.
What was the number? What was the record?
24.
24.
At a Martinsville race a couple of years ago. So
I remember it was ORL Martinsville.
And we're a little bit behind if you just do the raw math, but I'm factoring in a green-white checkered as well. But
I thought of something better than 24.
What is that?
It was not an area series that was the record. No, this was a couple of years ago.
It was ORL, I believe.
Yep.
Now you're going to make me do research for the area record. And I'm pretty sure it was at Martinsville, too.
Probably. I mean, that place has a record for a reason. Before we get back to green this time, let's get some things out of the way, I suppose. Race fans, head over to simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use. It keeps you more focused on the racetrack. If you haven't been to simwrapmarket.com, now's a good time under yellow. You should check that website out. They've got some really neat stuff. for all sorts of different cars, just templates and things you can color change and get suited to your needs. They've also got layers like carbon fiber and things of the sort for all sorts of different cars in the iRacing service. So highly recommend simwrapmarket.com. And race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. Yeah, Simwrap Market, they do have some good stuff. Really, in particular, it's the carbon fiber layers and things like that they have that I think are really useful because they also come with spec maps, which is one of the hardest things to get right. If you're an iRacing painter, you know the drill, how challenging it can be. And Simwrap Market makes it easy. It really does.
Especially for the Audi what was it, the Audi R18?
Yep.
Was it?
That car was a mess to paint. It was like you'd run it through the paper shredder first and then try to, like, I guess, running a coloring book through a paper shredder and then pulling out the crayons. That's what it felt like.
Basically, yeah. I remember seeing the template for that. I didn't own the car, but I saw the template and I was like, oh god, I can imagine all the painters screaming about trying to paint that car.
About 10
I'm looking through the I was looking through the area track record. Martinsville season 2 for the Cup Series, we had 20 yellows.
All right. Well, we're on track for that easily. We'll see if we can we still got another 22 laps to halfway. Gives us plenty of time. Pace car pulls off. I almost didn't know it because we're single file, as they stated. 10 bow ties in the top 10. It is a Chevy-dominated race. First Ford, 11th place. Who knows where all the Toyotas have gone at this stage. But time to go back racing. The Area Cup Series at Phoenix. Everybody trying to drink from the well in the middle of the desert, and it is coming up dry so far tonight. 54 laps in to a 150-lap show. Here we go. Green flag. So we're having lap traffic a lot sooner this way.
Oh yeah, you can see there's still guys going out of turn 4 to take the green flag. A much more classic style NASCAR restart here. Single file out of turn 4, mostly single file. A couple of guys battling for position. Skylar Shackelford fighting Connor Kresick for his 9th place position.
The single file restarts mean a good thing for the 56 of Jake Matheson. No one diving down low or on his outside. It's a good restart for him. So they're side by side a little further back. I believe that is Cedric Hunter, or is that Ed Shearer Jr.? The color correlation thing on Discord has been acting up over the last week, and
I was gonna say it's like
it is so terrible. It is so terrible right now.
Cedric Hunter in the 13 on the bottom. Bryce Senesac. There's Ricky Springer charging back through the field. Nathan Jump just behind Jordan Martin. Douglas Newbegin, both, and actually Justin Bondurant, all three of these drivers rebounding from incidents.
Blake McKinney dooring Skylar Shackelford for 8th place, aggressively in the dog leg. They're still almost going to door each other as the 87 comes up the track in the 88.
88 still on the outside, trying to get that car positioned ahead of McKinley. Heading into turn 3, he's going to do just that. And now looking to the outside, Connor O'Kresick trying to knock on the door for 9th.
His name we haven't mentioned yet tonight much. Started 5th. Been, again, quietly flying under the radar. Fell back to 10th, as low as 13th on the evening.
And actually also looking up further to 3rd place, Tommy Scott knocking on the door of 2nd place with Connor Horn. Battle brewing between these two.
I say Connor Horn likes these 1 mile racetracks. He won at Dover a season ago and is running 2nd at the moment, but honestly, the best car on the track might be that 99 of Kwame Scott. It started all the way back in 40th, up
Ricky
to
Springer
3rd.
just went a little bit sideways. Sorry to cut you off there, Hunter.
And Robertson spinning on the front straight. And I think there was some contact there with the 9 of Matthew Bell. Have a look, or at least these two cars were both having issues at the same time.
Sorry, it was Matthew Bell, not Ricky Springer. Apologize.
Well, so Bell was sideways, so was the 64. They both did the same thing. Loose onto the apron. They gathered it up, but just. Yeah, that 99 Kwame Scott has been really impressive. I just wonder how he would have qualified had he gotten that lap in. He probably would have been front row. He's managed to work his way all the way up to 3rd, starting 39th.
And also give an update, Seth Knoll, he's running 1 lap down in 37th, and he's really off the pace with that car.
On board with the 14 of Okresic, looking to make it side by side. I was going to say 3 wide, but they thought better of it. Still fighting with McKinney for that position. Well, they're knocking on the door for it.
They tried it a couple of times.
Racely can't tell if this is necessarily a good move or a bad move, taking those 2 tires.
Well, you know, I'm not really sure. He's dropped all the way down to 10th in just a couple green flag laps, and we could go a lot longer. I think he was planning on this race getting more yellows. I don't think he was expecting the single file restarts that might give us enough green flag laps where that strategy won't work.
And still able to fight back, is going to get past Dom DeLeo, is trying to make a move on his inside, so he's still hanging in there in that 8 machine.
Yeah, racing with the 24
Whoa!
Michael Graham.
Oh,
Great
spin.
moment for McKinney. Oh, spin!
Okresic. And
Still green.
no, we're yellow
Caution
now.
is out.
Yeah. We were just talking about Okresic's climb and how he hadn't been talked about a lot today. Found a way to get talked about. And he was right ahead of McKinney.
Had a bit of help.
Ooh, right there. Yep. Oh. Shot mid-corner, and he just could never quite got the rears on the banking and the fronts on the apron. And just a slow, lazy spin. Not a lot he could have done about that. He had the wheel cranked in it and everything. Did a good job not to fling it back up onto the racetrack. There's something about knowing how to crash, and it sounds silly, but you don't need to make it worse. And that was just one of those moments where the driver had to just say, all right, we're crashing. Let's just lock it down, spin it to the inside, keep it out of the wall. Sometimes your bigger crashes are overcorrections that lead to much bigger accidents than first happened. Pit stops again. This is a bit surprising.
Yeah, I think what drivers are feeling now that we're down a single file restart is a good chance we can go from green to the end. So I think they want to get some 4 fresh good years, especially some of the guys that stayed out in the last caution, get equal to everyone else.
Yeah, 85 to 95 laps is the fuel run, and these guys are within that window. Yeah, I think even with a green-white checker, these guys are still good to go. And even if we go back to having to be a caution fest, all that's doing is just helping you save fuel under these caution laps.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what the tire wear is going to be like. I imagine it's hot, but even though you can make it on fuel from the end, I would imagine that we're going to get more yellows, so maybe that's not the plan. Eric, what you got?
So, touching on a couple things here for you, Kyle. First of all, you guys mentioned it, the pit window, or the fuel window to make the end of the race is now open. So I expected every single driver, and we pretty much saw all but the top 7 come down pit road for fuel and tires. The other point that you brought up there, Kyle, is there fall off? And after 25 laps in my practice session before the actual practice session for the Area Cup Series kicked off, 25 laps, I didn't really see too much fall off, maybe close to 3/4 of a second. So not a ton of tire fall off, with the track temp being up at a 121, where these guys probably expected it closer to 90 to 100 degrees. Might see a little bit more fall off on the lap time chart, but other than that, this is the stop. You've now made your final stop pending any long run and then a yellow. So it's all track position from here, and just placing yourself in the best position you can to finish well. And that's going to make these restarts even more intense, Kyle and Finney and Hunter. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I also think I'm interested in now the single file restarts with staying out strategy, Finney, and that's intriguing to me, because now you don't have the entire field right on your heels when we get the green. You're going to have them all spaced out. So I would like getting slightly off sequence now, just because you're not going to lose as many spots as quickly. So if you can bank on consistent yellows, which so far has been the case, I think there's definitely a strategy that involves kind of getting a slightly off sequence.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I'm curious to see again how well these guys dumping to the front are going to hold on, especially the first 4. Nathan Jumps, Justin Bonnarant, Greg Mitchell, Casey Lakatos all pit around the same time, about 27 laps ago. Then Justin Anasoga, Spencer Burns, both of them pitted 14 laps ago under the previous yellow. So there, I would say the 67 and the 06 looking pretty good, but again, like you mentioned, that single file restart definitely going to be the big deciding factor. See how well these guys stay in the front, and other drivers like Jake Nichols, way back in 35th on a single file restart. He's not too happy with the way this night's going.
JT Poole just suggested need to put balloons on the bumper, pop a balloon, EOL. It's like driving with an egg on the dashboard, that sort of thing, or under the gas pedal. I like that a lot. What's going on back here?
That's one way to put it. Oh boy. Someone saying, that's my spot. Nope, that's mine.
Are we breaking back out into double?
Under yellow as well, with Blaze McKinney hitting the 64 of Ed Robertson.
We're back under yellow, guys. We've had an extension. Maybe not surprising. There's a lot of confusion right now, I think.
Yeah, so the last lap there was a wreck. Blaze McKinney went flying at Ed Robertson, and McKinney's got huge damage to the nose.
Let's go back and look at that. We're only going to get one lap to look at it.
Just a little bit forward.
Oh, right there. Big stack up. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well.
That's just guys not paying attention to that. I mean. Oh, well, that's like following on the 90. Too close. Wow.
All right, we'll try this again.
I suppose so.
Oh, they're already stacking up again.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is not going. I mean, we've done single file restarts before, and I've never seen that happen. That's new.
We need to bring it back to COVID times where it's 6 feet apart.
They might need more. They're still stacking up back there, guys.
Oh boy.
Green flag, and we're back underway, but that was ugly.
Oh, they're already fading out near the front, too. They're looking almost 3 wide into turn 1.
Look
Here
out.
we go.
Tommy Scott into the
my
side
goodness.
of the 06. 3 wide.
Travis Beckner trying to make up moves on the inside in that 28 machine. So side by side with Connor Horn in behind Kwame Scott, Spencer Burns, and this is the guys with the fresh tires really trying to make a move, and Kwame Scott leading that charge.
Got his teammates with him.
42 in the wall.
Oh my goodness!
Big crash. The 42, he's hurt. That car is hurt.
Connor Horn had a big overcorrection there through the dog leg, and that's
they're more
hurt
trouble. The
his car.
06 bounced off of Beckner in turn 2. This is not going to end well. That 42's got damaged.
Yeah, he's just trying to hang on there. He's stuck on the inside, so I'm not sure how that's going to fare for him. He's going to dive way down low, I think, to try to stay out of everyone's way in case something happens, but they're still fighting hard just in front of him.
We'll see if he continues to trot it out. I think he is, because he would have made it known by now that he was pitting, but big damage to the 42 of Horn. That's hurting his car quite a bit.
Waiting until we get this mega pack cleared around this hurt car. And we'll go back and have a look at it, as well as the issue in turn 2. So many cars. And the 13 sideways. Cedric Hunter
saves it.
Locks it up. All right, let's go back and have a look at what happened to Connor on the outside of the 28 of Beckner. And does it just take a right?
Yeah, he just got loose from where we saw earlier with cars like David Weiser, Jacob Bell getting loose in the corner.
It was Beckner on the 06, and then that's when they came back together. So,
Spencer Burns sideways as well as he come back to live. Going to save it out of the front straightaway through the dog leg.
We should just run the cutless version of the track. Maybe that'll clean that up. Make that dog leg an impenetrable barrier.
I mean, yeah, for the non-open versions, basically put some cones down there and you get a speeding, not a speeding penalty, you get a slow down for cutting through there.
Gotta do something. I mean, well, somehow they're still green, and we're almost at halfway, Kyle. Almost there.
I was going to say, this track is not going to rate very highly on the feedback reports, I imagine, with the driver. I'm having a great time. The chaos here is palpable, but I just can't imagine the drivers are having a whole lot of fun right now.
Kwame Scott's going to be having some fun because he's got fresher tires than the 2 drivers ahead of him. There he is in the 99, working on Justin Bonner and Nathan Jump, who's leading this race in the 29 for Vizicas Motorsports. Question is, how much longer?
Jump with a great win from
crash back front straight away. 71 Newbegin.
Oh, Newbegin.
And he's on the apron, so it will not yet cause the yellow.
I'm surprised that's not yellow territory down there.
Me too, just same thing. Bounce it, took a bad bounce.
Ooh, great job locking it down and saving it.
Yep, kept it on the road. Here comes Kami Scott, and he's got the lead.
Oh, wow.
That was fast.
Just one, yeah.
Well, Simrat Market Replay is getting a workout tonight. He was passed at the exit of 2. Right here, just goes by.
Yeah, it was already the inside of the 11, and then finally sealed the deal heading off. Just that fresher tires, fresher grip, third in the corner, sealed the deal.
Eric Wineland.
Douglas Newbigging Radio, guys.
Oh, man, I love that transition. Gotta love it. Yeah, they never got a yellow. There's that.
That's crazy.
Pure talent right there, not bringing out the yellow. Look at me.
So 71, not too happy with himself, and this race is severely descended into madness, guys.
Madness is probably an understatement. I think the drivers are feeling that. The race, something different. Seth Knoll, the pole sitter, he's been off track for a while. 13 laps down, likely done for the night. Alan Elwood, Mason Kane, Weishart, the only other drivers out. Everybody else that has been involved in a wreck, big or little, they're still on the road. Jake Nichols, who was involved in one of those collisions early on, and then a subsequent one. Fairly sizable damage to the left front. That car seems like it needs some more damage repair, even after a lengthy couple of pit stops.
Yeah, Seth Knoll was very off the pace. I think he decided to call that a night. Figure there's no way he can really get back into this. It's so disappointing after running so well, just to have that all kind of go away just after a huge wreck that he just happened to get caught up in.
Well, that's the case with some of these guys trying different strategies, staying out or taking 2 tires, and clearly 4 works better than 2 or none. In case Lacoste is finding that out, trying to hold on to 20th.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is kind of Lacoste's race, right? Play an alternate strategy to stay out of trouble. You're going to be in a good spot if you can just do that. Connor Horn is on track there, a couple laps down with that damage, hopefully slightly repaired. Spent some time on pit lane.
And Lacoste, as you just saw there, go with the dive. It was because he had got a bump from Cedric Hunter in behind.
Yeah, almost out of the commentator's curse there with Lacoste.
Oh, 3 wide out of 2. Mitchell on the outside, Senesac in the middle, Curhan on the bottom.
As he wins out of this, now it's down to Senesac and Curran off of turn 4 and across the line. It's a matter of who can get that better run off the corner. And Senesac's got a decent run, but Curran's still there on the bottom, has a chance to dive and seal it. So you watch onboard with Ricky Springer in behind.
Springer watching the action unfold in front of him, just buying his time and getting through the corner well in turn 2. And haven't talked about him or Bryce Senesac too much tonight. Senesac with a strong run into 09. He's been getting better with these finishes in the Cup Series. Top 10 at Daytona, which was his first top 10 in the Cup Series since season 2. So a good swing of things for the 09 of Senesac. Trying to continue that here in the desert.
Decent green flag run now. We've been green since, well, 6 minutes ago. That's not as long as I thought it was.
It's felt a lot longer than that. Wow.
Any time that we get an automated flag input, that it, registers in the log. And last green flag at 9 p.m., which for me is on Central Time, 7 minutes ago.
10 p.m. for 10 p.m. for those on the East Coast, and 8 in Mountain, and 7 p.m. for those on the West Coast, which is where Phoenix is. So we're 7 minutes into this run. Very great run, guys.
Jeremy Miller, 23rd place. Never looked back. He's gone forward ever since. There's the 11 of Bondurant on the outside. James Scioli just ahead.
Yeah, should be able to make quick work of the 11 here. Just matter just trying to get past him as these both the 11 and the 29 slowly slipping back, not as nearly as much as the guys on older tires, but they're not quite able to fight there with the guys on fresher rubber. There is Blaze McKinney in the 87 trying to make work of the 63.
Alex Cummings, they got together a little bit there out of 2. Chasing the intervals on my timing screen to see who's alongside, getting close, and who's side by side. How about Rafe Slate and Curhan? This is into turn 1.
Yeah, Curran's been trying to move his way forward. We saw him get past 09 to Bryce Senesac, now trying to fight with Rafe Slate. And Slate, you got to say that it really worked out for him at the end, was able to secure a place in the top 10. He's on the same tire strategy as everyone else now, but 24 is knocking on the door.
closing in, and as Eric Weiland said, he was amongst the top drivers in 10-lap, 15-lap, and 20-lap averages. Starting to show that off here as we're finally getting into a long enough green flag run. There he goes to the outside of Slate, trying to gather a run. Going to be tight coming off turn 2.
Yeah, grip searching just didn't quite have the exit speed that he needed to complete that pass just yet. Gordon Martin in the background making moves here on Greg Mitchell. Both these guys have been through the ringer today, especially that 2-car. Had some pretty big impacts early on, but he's struggled through it. Still top 15, but almost gets into the side of the 9. Matthew Bell or vice versa.
Almost saw 3 wide there for a second. Bell trying to see which way he wants to go. Going to try to look to the inside of Greg Mitchell here on the 2, and Mitchell's been, you know how we joke about sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. Mitchell was the ball very early on.
He was the tennis ball, got hit a couple of times and deformed every time, but sprung right back into shape. 14th.
He's going to hope that's going to be the last of it tonight as he's trying to recover. So far, he's recovered pretty decently after being way outside. He got side by side with the 9, who got a little bit loose coming out of the dog leg.
Yeah, IRLC Motorsport teammates right there. Matthew Bell on the 9 and the 3 of Ryan Hartz, both trying to find their way around the 2 of Greg Mitchell. That's for 15th on the track as Hartz sends it down into turn 3.
Out of turn 4 now. Hartz will grab that spot and just clear the 2. Here comes Vincent Cortez as well. Started this race up on the front row. Got turned around in that big pileup on one of the restarts a long time ago. And now working his way back forward into 16th past the number 2. Skylar Shackelford and Curran. I was going to say a fight, not much of one. Just Curran lands a decisive punch and goes right by.
Yeah, it's 24 definitely on the move forward here as we got Skylar Shackelford looking to his right-hand side. We also got Eric Weiland back with us. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, I'm keeping one eyes on this 24 car. My pick to win the race here is trying to make something happen with 61 to go when they reach the flag. A report from Powerhouse Racing, Ricky Springer, said he is good to go to the end of the race. Well, Ricky is unfortunately running... I lost him on my timing already. No, he is 12th, so he's looking pretty good, but the guys ahead of him, save for a couple, have also stopped on the same lap as him, so I expect everyone to make it to the end of the race, except those that did not pit under the last yellow. 2 of those being Nathan Jump and Justin Bondurant. Bondurant, a teammate of Ricky Springer. His radio quote, I didn't get all of this on the recording. Bondurant said he's hanging on for dear life in that 11 car, so not a good time for him. But listening to Physicus Motorsports talking what they see out of the 8 car, this is specifically Cameron Hearn trading some information back and forth.
Rafe must be pretty quick here.
I think he took the tires.
Yeah, but he smoked the inside wall earlier. And he's in 9th, 10th.
Oop, caution.
Yellow flag.
Is yellow on the speedway.
Newbegin, I think. 71 on the front stretch.
Yep.
Just about to mention the 54. Remember, he alt F4 to avoid a cause any yellow. He's back on the lead lap, running 22nd. So,
Race Control has also said something about that. I don't know if we documented that.
you said that they didn't like it. I don't know what they've said beyond that.
So the announcement came through that any further instance of that, they will be removed from the race.
Oh.
So, believed to be a violation of the sporting code, which is highly frowned upon.
42 go by. This is interesting. It almost looked like he had a flat, like it just went straight and then it just slowly looped. Tommy Scott down pit lane, and has anyone else? Yes. Yes is the answer.
Oh yeah, you want the tires here.
Everyone.
Absolutely. You absolutely want the tires here. We'll see what happens on the restart though.
We will see. Here comes the 56 into the box. And once we get back to green flag racing, we might still have a lot of laps left by number, but the estimation, the time estimation, is about 27 minutes of racing. That's not really a long time. So you have to make it count. 56 leaves the box, but he's going to drop behind the 28. Travis Beckner.
Travis Beckner. Wow.
Good stop, good in and out. He's going to actually win the race off pit lane. That was what was that, +4?
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing of all this. He actually had the slowest stop of the 3.
That's getting in and getting out very efficiently to the box.
Yeah, he had he was tied with Jake Matheson for the quickest time of the three. Kwame Scott not as quick. I think that again, it's just that getting in and out of the box thing that might have slowed him the 99 down.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's what I got for that.
That's incredible. Man, I miss the That's Incredible Kyle Petty. I just the compilation of him going, that's incredible, that's incredible, that's incredible. Just I think that's incredible. Or Jeff Gordon.
We're in the boomer phase. We're in the boomer phase of Kyle Petty now.
Jeff Gordon going, look at this, look at this. Oh, look at this, and it's always Chase Elliott. You know.
And for Rick Allen, just an hour compilation of him just saying random things.
Dude, his championship call. Can we just talk about that for a second? I don't want to slander Rick Allen because I want to work in the same booth that he does someday. But what did he say? Hold on, I don't even remember. I have to read it because I put it in our Discord.
No, we were talking about how he does those Sonic reads out there. He's like, Sonic.
No. He said.
I forgot he started doing that too.
He said, "Crested the mountain of all winds," and I was like, "What does that mean?" What? We're not on a mountain. We're in the middle of a desert. All winds.
It's kind of like a little hill.
He didn't win Rattlesnake Hill. He didn't win the race.
Won the championship.
He won the championship, sure, but I just didn't get. Crested the mountain of all wind. It just didn't make any sense. It was like
there's a swing and a miss.
Just you have only 4 guys you have to plan a call for. You could come up with something better than that.
It was better than his 2020 Kansas Xfinity call. It was better than that.
Well,
and better than
for that one.
Or the final coffin in the nail or whatever the Vince Welch one was. that hammering you hear is the sound of the final nail in the final coffin, and you're like, what?
Yes, that's what it was.
Eric, you got something here for us before we restart? We're just joking around here.
The wheel is
still perfect.
It's still perfect. I was gonna ask if we could revisit our picks for the race, but you guys came up with something better, so we'll get to see this restart as Travis Beckner and Jake Matheson are gonna lead us back to green.
We're stacking up in the background.
The wheel.
Wheel's not so perfect back here. Green flag and restart. 55 laps to go, and Travis Beckner's going to lead the train way off course down there on the inside.
Yeah, everyone want to hit the pit road wall. They're heading right down towards they're heading off into turn 1 for this restart. Orderly up near the top of the order. Michael Curran trying to make some headway on the top side.
And Travis Beckner trying to make it 3 in a row for Miller Racing to start the season as the rest of the field works their way into turn 3. Here comes Skylar Shackelford. Racing close with teammate Jeremy Miller, 5th and 6th on the racetrack. Michael Curran on the outside, just a on the run on the inside.
Opportunity now with everyone on the same strategy here to really be aggressive.
Bell almost wiped out on the dog leg.
Yeah, he's managed to save it and keep going. The 14's going to get split middle 3 wide here. Scherer on the bottom, Morton on the outside. Squeezes out from that brotherly hug there in the middle.
Taking a look back at our leaders, nose to tail, Travis Beckner, Jake Matheson playing rear gunner at the moment. Kwame Scott trying to figure out how is he going to get past these two. We know arguably this 99's probably got the quickest car of anyone today. It's a matter of getting on past.
Kwame Scott looking for that first win on the season in race number 3. Teammates Jake Matheson and Travis Beckner are up ahead, and Matheson's going to send it down into turn 3 on the inside, looking for the lead. Beckner going to give him all the room that he can, and the new leader, 56, of Jake Matheson.
Smoke clearing on the front straightaway from another slip and slide a lap ago. Here comes Kwame Scott to the inside for second place on Travis Beckner. He's through. 28 had a great pit stop. The race pace doesn't seem to quite be there, though. But Matheson's trying to run before that 99 gets back up front. He is bound determined to win this race.
Well, big thing, I imagine these guys are going to play nice. Again, old teammates here for Miller Racing. We're running 1, 2, and 3. So, for they say first rule racing, don't wreck your teammate.
And as far as the team championship goes, Hunter, this is a wake-up call for the Solar Flare Racing guys. They have some stiff competition this season, and they're showing face very early, not holding back much.
Oh, 100%. This is a wake-up call. Like, hey, maybe we need to focus up a little more because these Miller Racing guys, 3 of them are brand new. Jake Matheson, Kwame Scott, along with Vincent Cortez running 14. they're new to area and they're new to the team. And Travis Beckner, as mentioned, is kind of taking on that leadership role that he's gotten from the head of Miller Racing, Dawson Miller, who has to be pleased with what he's seeing right now.
Absolutely. Just, you get all three of your drivers, well, 3 of your 4 drivers out front leading the way, and pretty decisively, in fact. That is definitely a wake-up call to a team that, Solar Flare Racing, that has been mostly represented at the front of the field by Jake Nichols. And while he was impressive last year and went on to do what Jake Nichols does, he wasn't overtly dominant as far as race wins go. Very good, consistent results, but not as many wins as we had seen in seasons past. So that's definitely be a wake-up call. If another team can sneak up there and have more than one car really participating for those team points, Solar Flare Racing has work to do. And what can you do, Finian? You're not working on setups every week. That's not the advantage of a team. It's just about practice and sharing information.
Yeah, it's really, and just trying to work together, get those finishes, and help the teammates that are maybe struggling a little bit more and getting everyone up there, because that's the whole point of the team championship. You got to work there as a team, and so far Miller Racing, they're doing a fantastic job this season so far.
Nice single file racing, clean racing. We're within that threshold of less than 50 to go here from Phoenix as we head back to the front. Matheson leads the way, but Kwame Scott following in close pursuit of his teammate, and then back over with the let's look at the 609 Motorsport, guys, because I find this interesting. So there's no stickers on the roof like we see in real life racing, but if you go on the onboard, you can still read it as 609 from the roof.
Yeah, interesting little tidbit there. I guess that's just the nature of the 6s and 9s being kind of the same but reversed. I actually had an argument with a Grid Life staff member about counting our door card stickers as separate 6s and 9s, and they just argued with me and got me to basically give it up because they're the same vinyl, just flipped around. And so now we just count 6s and 9s as one unit and make sure we got double of them. I think it's dumb. They're different numbers, but, technically, r/technically the truth.
Depends on the font, though.
Depends on the font, but our font, like the 609 font, is there's got to be a fancy science word for being the same upside down. I know there is, but you got to watch Vsauce to know, probably. It's a conundrumism or some stupid thing like that.
I was just going to say Connor Horn's struggling. As he's 2 laps down as he gets passed by the field, just kind of hanging out there, just trying to see if he can make up any time. Well, he's actually the first car a lap down, ironically, as well.
So we're getting into the stage of the run now, Hunter, where drivers were complaining about crashing and complaining about spinning out and not having any control. And then you get into this part of the run where no one can pass. It's just you flip a switch after like 5 laps in, and all of a sudden you're stuck.
So they better not hear anyone complaining about needing a caution. This isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way all the time. As Kwame Scott's still lurking in the background for Jake Matheson as they're flying by pit road, and our very own Eric Weiland sits on pit road with an update.
Hey guys, so we saw the side-by-side battle there from Bryce Senesac and Nathan Jump last for what felt like forever. Just as Bryce Senesac cleared Nathan Jump for 10th place, he let out a big sigh of relief. That's not the radio I captured for you guys. Fazekas Motorsports Radio, Nathan Jump talking to his teammates. Also, Dom DeLeo has some input here early.
I feel like a lot of these guys are still shifted on the short run.
Hey, that was a good battle, Bryce. Thanks for staying clean.
Dude, stop being nice. You gotta be a sometimes, alright?
Oh,
God.
Friends, not enemies, son.
We don't have no friends, boy.
So Cameron Hearn having a little fun with his teammate Nathan Jump as Jump continues to try to reach the top 10. He's going to have to go after Bryce Senesac here again as we're down to 41 to go.
Yeah, laps are clicking away very quickly. And for all the stalling of momentum building we had in the first half of this race, it's going by quick now. And Jake Matheson leads Kwame Scott by almost 0.4 of a second. Then it's 0.2 back to Beckner, 0.4 back to James Scioli, then Jeremy Miller, Skylar Shackelford, and Michael Curhan. And a little bit more battling in the background, Spencer Burns and Greg Mitchell. Both of these drivers have had their fair share of troubles today, but just trying to salvage something.
Yeah, both dropping back a little bit at the moment, so I think they're hoping that their fortunes can be reversed a little bit and they can stop the bleeding, try to work their way up forward. So look, speaking of which, you see Bryce Senezek trying to get around the 8 of Ray Slate. Battle for 9th place between these two.
I think their battle here for the 09 of Senezek, trying to close in on that gap between himself and Rafe Slate in the 8. Very solid, a strong run to the season so far for the 09 of Senezek. As he looks inside, is he going to send it? No, you're going to think better of it heading into turn 1.
Yeah, hasn't qualified super great. 32nd starting tonight, but the race pace has been fairly good. But now he's got Nathan jumping that outside lane and bouncing around turns 3 and 4 here in that Ford Mustang. Here's a look at laps led today. Jake Matheson and Kami Scott have led combined 47. Travis Beckner led 5, Rafe Slate 8, Nathan Jump 10. But it's been kind of, no one's been, again, overtly dominant tonight. We've seen some drivers been up front, but no one's able to really stay there. Even Scott running Matheson back down, only a 2/10 back.
Yeah, he's not been able to kind of breaking through the bubble that's in behind Jake Matheson. It's like a solid 10th or 2 that he's not been able to really get at. And now finally, it looks like, actually, as I say that, now it's finally caught up to the back, bumping to 56. I wonder if he's just been kind of waiting to make more of a move and really start to push the tires and have one solid attack of this 56. But that's got to wait. Caution out.
Yeah, I was going to say I saw some smoke, and Matheson just threw his hands up in the air. And I didn't get a look at who it was. I think Cameron Hearn just hit pit lane. Anybody have anything for me, Finian?
I heard someone say someone's screen froze.
Oh, Cameron Hearn came to a stop there. Didn't see anything else. Did he just end up stop? Yeah, right. Probably it was the Ford stopping on track, I'd imagine. But he was as far off, not as far off track as you can get. Is that what did it though? Let's watch the flag stand. Yep, must have been. Wow.
It's always interesting to me when and where iRacing decides that cars are on the track versus actually off the track.
You know, typically at most racetracks, if you're below the apron, you're fine. At New Hampshire, we've seen that that's not the case. Here, obviously, the apron is racetrack, but we didn't see it go out for the 71 earlier when he came to a stop on the apron. And we did see it there in an area that's not used as racetrack, so that's peculiar to me. I know also there's a little bit more leeway right after a restart at the back of the pack. I don't know how complex that logic gets, but it is going to put us under yellow with 35 laps to go.
And an update from race control, apparently, because everyone's been behaving, they're switching to double file restarts.
Oh, boy.
No, you're not supposed to do that. It was going so well.
Oh, boy. Eric Wineland.
Oh, my goodness.
What's up from pit lane?
So twofold here. To discuss our restart change, they've been upset with the stacking up that's been going on in the back part of the field, so they did want to get it back to double file. They wanted race control, Carter Coop. I can't commend him enough for the job he's doing tonight with Ryan Swan up there helping him out as a spotter as well. David Weishart, who also out of the race, is helping spot the incidents too. But Carter's making the calls. He wanted to get that burden of the checkups off his shoulders there, and he also felt that they earned the right to get back to maybe some exciting restarts. We'll see how it plays out, though. He still has the ability to switch it back if needed. The report from Cameron Hearn, I didn't get the radio on this for you guys, but Cameron said everything in the VR went black, and he could only hear. So he turned it left, slowed it down, and he could hear himself hitting the inside wall. So he knew he was at least off racetrack, he hoped. Still unfortunately triggered a yellow, but hardware issue for the 4 meant that he could not see, so he had to pull off and stop.
Yeah, did about as good as he can do under that circumstance. You're better off doing that than going to the outside. But yeah, as far as the restarts go, I definitely understand the switch because of that stack up. I think we are going to be bound for some very interesting, maybe some heated moments here because everyone has trouble passing after that 5-lap mark. It's going to be ultra important to get the passes done now. Good news is we're within about 32 laps or so of the finish, so no matter how many more times they wreck, they can't add to the caution total that many more times. We've had 10 yellows for 33 laps. We had 7 yellows in the first 50 laps. So in the subsequent 70 laps, only 3 more.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that change definitely helped to single file, get some green laps in.
Yeah, 28
minutes. How are our picks doing?
Mine is 15th, Benson Cortez.
26th.
Jake Matheson is second on the outside lane, so he's fourth. And I think Cummings and Hoppy took 2 tires there, which I was going to ponder at.
I
No.
see 14 seconds and 15 seconds. They
So
just got good
we have 3 cars that have stayed out, Hunter. Kwame Scott in the 99 stayed out, the 63 of Alex Cummings, and also the 23 of Blake Hoppy.
Yeah, they just didn't pit, it looks like. Or no, they
But,
did.
See that from the 99.
My pick's still hanging in ninth. We'll see what he can do from there.
Surprised to see that from Kwame. Stay out. That might be a little bit risky. We'll see, though.
All right, folks, hold your breath, cross your fingers. We're about to go double file into the restart zone.
Here we go. 32 laps remain at Phoenix for the Area Cup Series. Green flag back in the air, back to double file, and we're underway again.
Oh, and already a spin to the inside immediately.
23 of Hoppy. And more.
Oh, boy.
Well, that was a
That didn't
short-lived
take long.
experiment. The 11.
And the restarts have been changed back to single file.
Well, you know. You give them an inch, they'll take a
boy.
mile. Race late involved. Well, that did not. I mean, that kind of went how we thought it was going to go, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the lesser of the two evils. Do you leave it up to the drivers not to run into each other, or do you leave it to the drivers not to run into each other?
There are pros and cons to everything in life, even being the richest person on Earth. There are still cons in this world, and we just saw another con to having side-by-side restarts.
Where's the 23 running on track right now? I can't find him. 36th.
Yeah.
I was trying to find him to go back and watch the replay here.
So, looking at it.
Oh, did he get some assistance?
So what you're gonna watch here might want to go from up above. Yeah, there we go. So coming down here, you're gonna see him transition off the banking, gets loose. Beckner kind of finishes him off,
and then
I think when the caution came out, everyone checked up, and then around they all went.
Oh, Ricky Springer got just broadside there.
Is that Nathan jump into the 11 of Bondurant?
Ricky Springer's view. Whoop, see ya.
Nice 360.
It was actually pretty good. Well, Nate took a pretty big hit down there to the inside. He's run into a couple things tonight. Some of his own doing, some not. Whew. All right. So 30 laps to
Well,
go.
all that does is just makes it 1, 2, 3 for Miller Racing again.
I think they'd be cool with
the
yellows.
order has been restored.
All the way to the end, they'd be cool with yellows at this stage, just locking it down.
I think that's what Kwame was hoping for. I was, again, surprised that he stayed out, but I think when he saw that it was changed back to double file, he's like, you know what, I'll keep my track position in case things go south.
First Toyota running 14th tonight. A lot of Chevrolet representation this evening in the top 20. A couple Fords up there as well, spicing it up. Tommy Scott's leading. The 8 got trapped behind the pace car here. We should try triple file restarts.
Oh God, Indianapolis here.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or we can double the field up and have half the field go one way and half the field go the other way. And then we could turn it into a figure 8. I think that'd be perfect.
All right, Tony Stewart.
I think it'd be better than what we got now.
Actually, just thinking about it now, I think a 3-wide restart would work at Auto Club. RIP Auto Club, by the way.
We're in Michigan.
They're never building another
Michigan.
track there. Everyone knows that, right?
They're different, Finian. They're different characteristics.
Michigan is like the Wish.com Fontana. Sorry, it's just not a good racetrack. But
that's a good way to put it.
Eric Weiland.
Did you just say Fontana's not a good racetrack?
No, I said Michigan is the Wish.com Fontana, and that
Michigan is what Fontana, what it wishes Fontana was.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't even get me started on how upset I am that they took that racetrack away from us.
They're never going to build they're just trying to ease everyone over with a short track.
You know,
that's never gonna get built.
everyone loved Atlanta for its worn out service. I always thought that Auto Club was better racetrack for that reason. Just because it was so wide, the guys could find grip anywhere in any of the 8 to 10 lanes there are at that racetrack. We got a rare double EOL, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
The 29, Race Control said they were supposed to push it out. I'm not sure that they gave themselves enough time to, but they were very upset with the 29 hitting the 11 after the yellow had come out. The 23, Blake Hoppy, picked up the EOL for the self-spin.
Better
so we get ready to go back green.
Better not checking up this time. Well, as I say that, knew that was going to happen.
You jinxed it again.
Here we go,
Kyle.
green flag, and a little bit of a false start there from fourth on back. That's going to get Alex Cummings busy in the mirror here. Back underway from Phoenix, just over 25 to go.
Gary Miller working to the outside of the 63, trying to see if he can break back inside the top 5 of the 63. Going up the track, Michael Curran trying to look up the inside in his Ford Mustang.
Side by side coming off turn 2. They're looking 3 wide. Now going to settle back to side by side. Curran on the bottom of the Shackelford trying to take 7th back. Cummings holding on to 6th, but going to be under attack here. 3 wide across the front stretch.
Lap 125 of 150. Next time by is 25 to go. Shackelford still hunting through the middle of the road. Going to get tight here out of turn 2. The 11 of Bondurant is right behind. Nathan Jump is right behind. Very tight for 7th place.
No one's wanting to give an inch here in these closing laps. Everyone's charging hard. Still 3 wide through the middle of 3 and 4. Cummings going to back off, almost hit the wall. It's still Shackelford and Curran racing.
Boy, oh my goodness, they're 3 wide going into turn 1. Very close racing here. Cummings all the way up near the wall, trying to hold on to what he can. Curran instead the big winner out of this, up to 6th, and now has his eyes set on the 5th place car, Jeremy Miller.
Little 3 wide action back here. Cummings just on the outside going backwards. Does not have the momentum he needs, Eric Wineland.
Hey, so I wanted to clear up, they warned the 29 car of Nathan Jump for the incident that happened as the yellow came out on the last go round, the last restart. But I wanted to point out to you guys, did you see the driver that just creeped up into 11th place?
Oh, yeah.
I believe he was wrecked a little while ago. We're 3 wide off too.
And Scioli and Beckner almost came to blows there into turn 3.
Yeah, I was going to say big block for the 28, trying to hold up James Scioli here in these closing laps, trying to defend the 1, 2, 3 for Miller Racing. And James Scioli for Lucky Duck trying to break up the monotony from this team up near the front. He sees the opening. Kwame Scott goes wide up the hill. Here comes Scioli off the nose. Crash.
Oh, hard hit. Oh, look out. Shackelford going to avoid it. The 99 is sideways on the backstretch. That's going to bring out the caution. We got more cars spinning, heading to turn 3.
22 of DeLeo. At the 38 of Jordan Martin. Oh, man, they're still
God, he
crashing.
just got T-boned by Ed Robertson.
Kwame Scott had one of the fastest cars today and gets torn up with under 30 laps to go. Wow. And he was just trying to lock it down to keep from spinning back into the road, but just got hooked together here with the 7. 7 kind of pushes up the racetrack there. I don't think Kwame did anything wrong, and then he just tries to lock it down. Whoa. Oh, the 22 had to go left. He didn't have a choice.
I think the issue comes is that he came flying on through, but I guess
he did have his foot down. So
I guess that you can argue that he couldn't really see that until the last second if you go in from the cockpit. But
yeah, we'll do that in a moment. There's the 38 going around. Yeah, can't see it, can't see it, can't see it. See smoke, can't see it, can't see it. Now he sees it. Yeah, that's tough.
Well, we'll see what the admins say about that, Eric, as head back down for an update.
Yeah, tough sledding there for the 22 and the 38. Miller Racing radio for you guys.
I mean, I think I'll be all right. Dude, we're in a good spot here. We're in a really good spot. Dude, I threw a huge block on the backstretch on Scioli. Dude, you got to. It's this point in the race. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to be going green with like 17 to go from the rest of the race.
So Miller Racing boys talking the big block as you see it here on our SimRap market replay that Beckner threw on James. James, rightfully so, was probably a little bit upset and decided to drive it pretty hard the rest of the run. Unfortunately, included him getting tangled with Miller Racing teammate Kwame Scott, who was on the older tires, guys.
Yeah, big drama. The 7's in trouble. That's effectively out. Kwame Scott, what a shame. You know, that car was running up front, led some laps tonight. probably was one of the drivers that could have won. Maybe not on that set of tires, but that car is looking decidedly second-hand, at least on the right side. Leaves Jake Matheson as your leader. Travis Beckner, now Jeremy Miller from 609 Motorsports up into third. And Michael Curhan creeping into that picture, Eric.
I'm still hyped about this pick. I mean, he was the best, or he was top 2 in every category in practice for 10, 20, and 30 lap averages. So I'm excited for what this 24 car has shown in race pace, and more importantly, Kyle, he's missed pretty much everything tonight. I don't really see too many scratches on this 24 car, so I'm feeling good about my pick. I don't know if I'm as lucky as Las Vegas, but we are out west.
Sure are. Finney, and 20 laps to go. Still lots left to contend with here.
Yeah, I was going to say, and also one car you might want to start taking a look at, slowly come back in the picture a little bit. 73, Jake Nichols can't quite be out of it.
I pointed this
running
out before the incident, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, it was right around when that block came on back there, so he didn't really get to cover it. I'll finish your point off, though, but Nichols was running an 11th. Now he's up to 9th, so keep an eye on the 73, because if we start to get more cautions from here on out, he might have a chance to get his way up near the front. I'm sure he can't wait to get back into the fight after being out of it for like 100 laps.
How? I mean, there's no quit in that 73.
You see that name on the name rail there, just above the window? That's how. Gets it done. All right. Watch the checkups again. Everyone kind of offsetting just to see. This is last dozen or so cars. There's comes cars popping out of line here. All right, looking good now. Field works their way through turns 3 and 4, and Jake Matheson is in control of the field here for the restart at Phoenix. 19, make it 18 to go.
Solid jump for the 56 and the 28. Jeremy Miller trying to chase them on down. Side-by-side action in behind them, though. Fighting for 7th place. Ryan Hart's Nathan Jump in the 29th look is inside.
Well, Cummings might have gone the wall back there, but nonetheless still going green as 73 and Nichols heads down inside, trying to stay in front of Vincent Cortez in the 32, the other driver for Miller Racing, trying to get a top 10 finish.
Laps ticking away. You're going to run out of them pretty quick, so you got to get where you're going. You know there's probably going to be another late race yellow, so you've got to make time. Nichols kind of going not the right direction here. Got Cortez on the outside, Nathan Jump ahead of him. Jake Matheson, though, is in a commanding spot. Big block there from Jump on Nichols into 3.
Yeah, ran him down to the inside. Nichols tried to back off, go to the outside, but couldn't quite get there in time.
Big hard in the wall. Bonderon.
Yeah, Justin Bonderon in the 11 off of turn 4.
Don't want to have that happen in the closing stages of the race, as Vincent Cortez now trying to hang on to 10th from the 14 of Okresic, who's looking low. Tuck back in, down the back.
Coming to 15 laps to go. Clock is ticking. Matheson's extending his lead right now. The 11's in the wall
hard
again.
In the wall again.
Yeah, I think he definitely messed it up that first time around, and now you see a bunch of drivers taking advantage of it. 3 wide with Nathan Jump. Jake Nichols on the inside. Bonderon trying to hold it on the outside.
Oh, this is a tough spot for the 73 to be in, especially with the 11 bouncing on and off the wall. All right, here comes Vincent Cortez trying to join in the mix, but where does he go?
Not where the 11's going to go. He's going to be in the wall again here out of 4. Had to lift to not avoid it this time. This is where your drama is going to be, folks. 13 to go next time by. And it's all for about 7th spot that the cork is just holding this pressure back.
You see Jake Nichols trying to get around, trying to see if he can get clear of the 11 and the 29, but Bonderon coming back with a great run off of turn 2, heading into 3.
Oh, contact. Okresic, and he's going to spin.
He's sideways. That's going to bring it out.
Caution. Yeah, he had some contact there with whoever was on his outside through 4.
That was a 32 of Vincent Cortez.
Here it is. Just a little bit of contact, and it just kind of pulled him around right there. Dives in really deep. Wasn't going to make the corner. Tries to throttle up, and then it just steps out on him. Wow. So we're going to be under 10 laps to go on the restart. Race fans, fall is here, and before you know it, so will winter. Bundle up this season with shop.areaiRacing.com and shop from our selections of champion hoodies, jackets, and sweatshirts. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. That's shop.areaiRacing.com. You know what colors I got on special this week, Finian?
I don't know. Fall
Yellow.
colors?
I'm just kidding. That was sorry. It's a joke, but anyway. Jake Matheson, thank you, Hunter, for amusing me. Jake Matheson, Travis Beckner, and Jeremy Miller are going to be your front three starters here. Single file restarts going to be really helpful in these last closing laps, Finian, for whoever's leading this race.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm sure Jake Matheson's really happy. I mean, he's also got, not only that, it also helps him make sure his rear gunner, Travis Beckner's going to be in behind to try to hold off any charges from Jeremy Miller, Michael Curran, or Skylar Shackelford. And also, too, how about Skylar Shackelford? If he finishes in 5th, it'll be his best finish in the Cup Series so far. And in general this season, this 88's looking very solid compared to last season.
Yeah, very drastic change from a season ago where he was just a rookie, and now he's starting to settle in a little bit with the 609 Motorsports guys. Him and Jeremy Miller, they've both they're both in need of like a rejuvenation because they were not off to good starts a season ago. Again, they were rookies. Skylar Shackelford, average finish was 23rd. Did have a couple of top 10s. Jeremy Miller, he didn't have any top 10s a season ago, and then he finishes in the podium position in Daytona and is looking to do so again as we head back down to Eric Weiland for an update.
Not very happy in the Solid Rock Performance Camp. I've been declined the option to play any of their radio the rest of the night at their request, and I will oblige. I can just tell you that I don't know if I want to call it attitude, but the feeling there in Solid Rock Performance is one that is not very happy at all with their fellow competitors. Regardless, we're going to get a restart with inside of 10 to go, guys. And what's our caution count up to?
Caution count currently up to 13.
And I don't think we're going to break the record.
No. We
surprisingly
mathematically cannot.
Unfortunately.
I will say that the Christmas card list as we approach the holidays, well, there won't be one.
Oh, there's no Secret Santa?
No Secret Santa. He'll be bringing coal if he's bringing anything, that's for sure. But
I actually feel...
The elves at the Yellow Flag Factory getting a workout, though.
I wonder what AJ Roderick and James Shane Wolf feel from this event. The fact that they did not make the race. And Ryan Swan, but Ryan's also helping out on the admin side of things now with Mr. Carter Coop. Interesting note there as well. Some of the drivers that are out of the race, namely Ryan Swan and David Weishart, have gone up to the admin booth to help spot incidents. I don't know that we've ever had that happen in area.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
And a 13th time for some things.
Well, the admins definitely need the extra help tonight.
I was say we could all use a spot. I complain about not having a real spotter when I race.
I mean,
he's got spotters for race control.
It's been a while since we've had some real juicy drama and some rivalries.
Has it been that long? It was only technically a couple races ago.
I mean, we could point to the end of season 4.
Yeah,
it's not been that long.
Been a couple
5 races ago.
Hey, it's not fresh in my memory anymore. I'm not involved in any of them, thankfully.
I mean, we're pretty bad at the commentator was involved in the controversy.
Well, I've been there before. Here we go. Coming out of turn 4, 8 laps to go. Green flag, Jake Matheson in command. Trying to keep it all in the rear view into turn 1. Look out, here comes the 54. Agali trying to sneak back up in the top 10. Big slide from New Big Ing. He hangs on to it.
We'll hang on to it, and looking off of Vincent Cortez racing side by side with Jake Nichols. And Nichols,
big crash. Tommy Scott, caution out. 14th yellow of the night.
And he's left the race.
And what a disappointing end for Kwame Scott tonight. On the inside of Delonte Ballard here in 1 and 2. And
yeah, looks like Delonte was also trying to go to the inside as well. of 71.
That was, one guy zigged and the other zagged, and bam.
Yeah, poor Ed Robertson, too. Just trying to check up and not get involved in that, just slams the inside wall.
Oof. Oh,
Ed Robertson, not having the best of nights either.
No.
Before we go back to live, I want to see, can we take a look at the restart, and particularly the 32 of Vinton Cortez, because Jake Nichols, not a fan of the way the restart went. And get a look and see why. So, and so the reason he's annoyed, because obviously the 32 would teammate with the 56 and the 28, and he felt that the 32 got a countdown.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and you can see right here. Ready? And
yeah, that's
the outside.
Wonder if we can get a look from the starter cam here and see. Yeah, he was going before the green. If you look, I mean, I guess I guess the restart zone would be the. I think he was going even before the leaders went.
I think he was timing. I mean, obviously he was trying to time it with the leaders.
Yeah, green car right behind the purple. Yeah, he was accelerating before the leaders were. I think that was at least from my perspective. Watch it again. Watch the leader and then the car about 8th in line. Just he already had a roll on him at least. So I see that.
Did you guys receive the information from race control?
We have not.
So you guys are correct in what you're seeing. The race control deemed that the 32 had rolled too fast into the restart zone trying to get a jump, and that he did jump it and accelerate before the leader. So he has been handed an EOL penalty in addition to Kwame Scott for the cause of incident between the 99 and the 21.
Yeah.
And by the way, the EOLs that are not being served tonight, for example, the 99, who has since already left the server, serves them during the next event. That is a new rule and area this season.
Like that rule, I also have to agree with the penalty for the 32. Whether or not he got direction from the leaders, he was already moving faster than the cars he was ahead of and carried that momentum past and did, in my view, launch before the green. So I don't think there's a lot to contest there. But it's going to cost him. I mean, it could have gained you a lot. That's a big gain if you don't get called on it. And
yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to do it when everyone's watching.
Well,
so.
that's the thing, right? Is when you're single file, it's actually easier to pick out stuff like that. But I have to commend them, right? Like, if you're in a situation like that, force them to call the penalty, right? I mean, the night's going bad for a lot of people, so you're not going to lose a whole lot in relation. So force the penalty to get called. Anytime that stewards have a lot going on, I'm never against a driver trying to find every advantage and just trying to skate on by, because if you're not, well, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Because that's the old saying, right? Just got caught. You just can't be mad when you get caught.
I'll say my saying is, if you ain't flipping, you ain't trying.
Well, see if someone goes flipping.
Ryan Newman, the hardest trying driver in NASCAR history.
Ryan Preece gave him a run for his money.
Well, he sure did. And a lot shorter of a career, too. All right, 3 laps to go. If we get a yellow flag, we are going into overtime. It means we can only have 2 more yellows, mathematically. Here comes Jake Matheson into the restart zone. He is your leader. Green flag, another big jump there in the background. Was that Matthew Bell, perhaps, in the 9, got a pretty good launch, but otherwise we're back underway.
Yeah, not a particularly good start for the 20 and Travis Beckner. So the 30 of Jeremy Miller all over him. He knows that he doesn't have a whole lot of time, but he wants to make something happen. He's got to go now.
Yeah, no time to sit and wait. Only 3 to go. They're coming in 2 to go this time by. Plenty of side-by-side action inside. Here comes 3 wide into turn 3.
Oh, spin. We're gonna get there. Oh, we're gonna get there. 2 to go.
Oh boy.
Just half a mile left until we're in the safe zone here, Finian.
Yeah, and still battling for 3rd place. Jeremy Miller, Michael Curran battling almost side by side for a second. Here comes Curran, big run on the back straightaway, looking to dive the 30 with the block entering turn 3.
Trying to find that podium spot. Gonna have 1 more lap to do it. White flag in the air. 1 final time around Phoenix. Can Jake Matheson hold on?
Oh, they're running into each other in the background through the dog leg here. Are we going to come out the other side in one piece? We have so far. Jake Matheson in the number 56. Out front for Miller Racing, they have come off to Season 5 with a very strong start. Big block in the background from Miller on Curhan. Their battle's going to come down to the checkers. Here we come through 3 and 4. Jake Matheson in the 56 keeps the Miller Racing streak going. They win at Phoenix again.
Oh, and Michael Curran side by side with Miller at the line. It's going to be Curran at the line.
We'll go back and look at that one. Crash. Ed Robertson skidding across the finish. There's Vincent Cortez as well. Here is the run to the checkers between the drivers for third. Look at this move by Curhan. On the outside.
Yep, using that outside momentum and just gassed it up out of the corner and got just enough of a run to get past the 30.
Well done.
Wait. Talk about keeping your foot in it. That's on the last lap, too. I'm surprised he didn't do it even harder. And speaking of harder, there is the wall tap for the 56. So now he'll pass post-race inspection in what is his second straight win in the Area Cup Series.
Yeah, setting the mark early for Solar Flare Racing and 609 Racing and the other teams that we've seen up front early this season. Message sent, and hopefully by this point received, that this is definitely not a team that's playing around this season. Jake Matheson, here he is, the 28 of Travis Beckner. My OCD really wants him to move back about 3 inches.
So close to perfection.
Also, about 5 squares down, the texture's stretched on that start-finish line checkers, but who's checking? All right, well, let's have a look at our race results here. This was a wild one here at Phoenix. Jake Matheson, Travis Beckner, Michael Curhan, your top 3. Then Jeremy Miller, Shackelford, Hart, Bondurant, Nichols, Jump, and Senesac, your top 10. A lot of the same players, but they just got there a different way.
Oh, yeah, and really good run, though, for 609 Motorsports. Jeremy Miller with 4th and Skylar Shackelford in 5th, so a great run for that team, especially with Connor Horn struggling and finishing way down the order. We'll get to him. But looking onto the second page results, in 11th place we have Edward Shearer Jr., Ricky Springer, Golly, Mitchell, Bell, McKinney, Cummings, Anna Sogak, Tyler Nichols, and Spencer Burns running at your top 20.
Lots of mumbo jumbo here throughout this results page. Just looking at guys who are up front, then we're in the back, then we're in the middle, and then we're in the back again. Like Vincent Cortez, he was close to the top 10 and ended up finishing down in 28th. Connor Horn was running inside the top 10, got caught up in an incident, finished 29th. Jordan Martin also had some solid runs close towards the top 10, but just a lot of carnage there. And then especially Garrett Grant got caught up in an incident with Cameron Hearn, finishing down in the order. Seth Knoll was dominant early on and then got caught up in a crash in the middle of turn 1 and 2. And Kwame Scott, I mean, arguably he had the fastest car of the night, didn't get the finish there to set the tone for Miller Racing.
Yeah, tough night for those drivers after having a strong start by just a couple thousandths of a second. Michael Curhan comes home in 3rd in the number 24 for Fizikis Motorsports. A all-out brawl tonight. Tempers flaring and flying and drivers mad at each other. Single file restarts and survival to the end. Michael, you got podium, but just over Jeremy Miller. Take us through tonight, the challenges, the tribulations, and beating that 30 out to the checkers.
Yeah, that was it was pretty frustrating for most of the night, between just being so difficult to pass anyone, and then the shenanigans that were happening all night. It was certainly frustrating. Definitely a roller coaster for me. I got shuffled back, I think, there early on, and got a little bit lucky with cars kind of getting squirrely down low, and I was in the high lane, so I was able to pass 3 or 4 cars at a time. So I was able to get chunks of spots at times, and it helped me kind of get clear of all those shenanigans. So yeah, to eke out Jeremy there at the end, that was a really fun battle. Kind of surprised the top lane worked there, coming out of 3 and 4, but just kind of gassed it up and hoped it stuck, and it stuck just enough to beat him out. So yeah, it's a good battle there at the end. I do want to thank Fizikis Motorsports, NAI, DeLeo Bram, Fame Construction, Flash Picks, and everyone at Fizikis for all their help as well.
Michael, very strong run tonight, and keeping the fenders on the car as well. That was a key factor this evening. So congratulations on that very strong run, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Kyle. See you.
And we move on now to Travis Beckner. And as far as the season and this team has gone, so far, Travis, so good. Second place tonight, the number 28. Jake grabs another win. Your team as a whole is on a mission right now to declare over Solar Flare Racing that you guys are the team to watch. What a night. Most of the drama was in the rearview mirror as well.
Yeah, there was one wreck right there in the turn one on one of the restarts that I got really lucky with. Just seas parted way for me. And huge team night there for Miller Racing. I told y'all don't sleep on us. I don't know who made the one thing saying that we're going to finish 5th in team points. I told you not to sleep on us. And yeah, holy cow, that was a caution fest, but in the end, it came out really good for us. 1-2 with team. Should have been a 1-2-3, but things happen. So, yeah.
Travis, strong night tonight in Phoenix, keeping the fenders mostly on the car when others could not. So congratulations on that, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, before I go, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Calusa Pines Landscaping. Hang on, excuse me. Celsius Area Shop, Alien Gear Holster, Huckett Films, Miller Race, everybody at Miller Racing, and Low Dollar Racing. And huge shout out to my mom's fiance, Steve, my mom, my dad, my grandparents that are watching right now. Y'all take the time out of your day to come do this, and the admins. It looks like they're gonna have a busy night tonight, so hopefully all goes well with them. So,
thanks, Travis. Congrats, P2, and a strong night for the team. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And Jake Matheson once again comes home, wins for the second time this season, and so much drama tonight. Behind you, in front of you at times, but you were able to come home, lead a bunch of laps, and win tonight in the number 56 Calusa Pines Chevrolet. And there were times when I don't know that this car was the fastest on the long run. That 99 was also quick, but the team as a whole was set up for a 1-2-3. Didn't quite work out, Jake, but this is just such a strong start for the Miller Racing crew.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. You know, we put a lot of laps into this. Oh, sorry. Put a lot of laps into this week, getting ready, all the long runs, all the fuel calculations, everything. All the team, they did an awesome job with all the testing. And you're right. I mean, there was at one point I thought Kwame was just going to walk away with it, and you know, race plays out how it plays out, and just, you know, I'm happy to be here, but I'm also really happy we had a good run for the team.
Yeah, I mean, tonight there was obviously so much drama. Restart changing from single to double, back to single. Big crashes on the restarts. A lot of the main players taken out. How do you keep yourself out of the chaos and just keep yourself focused and not let tempers flare? Not only if you're not involved in an incident, but just from the repeated yellows. Seems like keeping a clear mind is also a part of winning these things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, the way I see it is if they didn't touch me or it didn't affect me, I don't care. So it's, you know, it's good for me to just focus on my own race, eyes forward, eyes out of the mirror. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of yellows, a lot of breaks. It was, you know, you're right. The double file, the single file, that was definitely a change. You know, I'm not used to doing that kind of stuff. So it was a crazy night. I'm glad it was. I'm hoping it was fun to watch. Yeah, just crazy fun night.
Well, a lot of yellows this evening at Phoenix, but a ton of green at the top of the order. Calusa Pines and Victory Lane. Again, third week in a row. Jake, congratulations for you and the team. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everything you guys do. Just real quick before I go, I gotta thank Calusa Pines, Celsius, Area Shop, Alien Gear, Huckett Films, and Miller Racing for everything they do to get us here every week. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate them. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jake. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Wow, what a night. Dramatic, to say the least, but also, hey, he found Victory Lane, too. Literally.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, wow, I didn't even know you can go there.
I didn't know you could go to this one either, but that's a cool shot.
One of the only tracks on the service that you can do that.
Pretty cool. But all in all, wild night. I had a lot of fun with this one, actually. Despite the yellow flags, I think there was a fair amount of drama and a lot of interesting things to contend with the restarts and the challenge of the paint and the changing temperatures as well. The track dropped over 20 degrees from qualifying to the end of the race. So much, Finian, that led to a pretty interesting race despite all the yellows.
Yeah, well, we saw everyone be relatively friendly with each other the first two races. I think now we're starting to get into the thick of things. A lot of drivers starting to be not friendly as we head into the thick of this season. That means that they're just going to get even more racy from here on out. Again, we got some great talent this season. A lot of quick drivers near the front. They're all fighting hard for those front few positions.
You thought the action stopped tonight? No. Well, I mean, it did stop in the second half a little bit. Got some good green flag racing in, but next week we're going to Atlanta. And holy cow, what a headache that was a season ago. The intensity and the pack racing is going to be immense, and we might have another last lap pass. And that's going to be it for us from Phoenix, because tomorrow night and Thursday night, the Truck Series and the Pro Series will be at Kentucky. And I'm very interested in how both of those races are going to go, Kyle, and Eric as well. Eric, I know you have a fond place for Kentucky in your heart, I do believe, or not. I could be completely wrong on that.
I'll say sure. It's been a long time since I've run Kentucky on the sim. I'm looking forward to the opportunity tomorrow night. And then, hopefully we can qualify our way in on Thursday night after the debacle and very disappointing qualifying effort from yours truly last Thursday. But I'm looking forward to those races. What a wild one at Phoenix. Glad to get this one in the rearview mirror for the Area Cup Series. Kyle, Atlanta next week. It's going to be another wild one, but probably a little more tame than what we saw tonight. We've seen some pretty big wrecks there. That's going to be the big thing. Who can avoid the chaos and get to the checkered flag first?
Well, West Coast trip is complete. Las Vegas, Nevada to Phoenix, Arizona, back to the east in Kentucky Speedway. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Truck Series race, and then Thursday for the Area Florida State Builders Pro Series. Kyle Heyer, Hunter Sleppy, Finney DeCuna, and Eric Wineland bringing to the action. We'll see you tomorrow for the Trucks at Kentucky.